I'm gonna need more length. Fuck.
Don't we all need more length?
Story of my life.
General problem. At least in my life. I don't know about you guys.
It's almost better though, because if you got a fucking small dick, you don't have to foreplay for half an hour to
Yeah.
get a root.
You better have a strong tongue game. I always hear the "Are you in?" and I'm like, balls deep. Like, are you in yet? Like, no.
I'm like, I'm finished.
What do you mean am I in?
Hey, you have to have a well-placed thumb.
Did you not come?
Wait, did you not finish?
Chasing them gold medals, baby.
Right? Well, we can already tell this is going to be a great episode.
Yeah.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Insiders Podcast, presented by Monarch Heavy Haul, DSC Construction, and Extreme Recycling. Today we're joined by Bilko Blake Williams. Thank you for coming on, Bilko.
G'day. Stoked to be at the media pub and just have a bit of a chin wag. I'll see how it's going from here.
Alrighty. I don't know what the fuck that means,
Like
but
a dog wags its tail when it sees another dog. You wag your chins, you have a chat.
We're going to learn some lingo tonight.
I've got
Oz 101.
You have the craziest fucking terminology for shit. Is that just an Australian thing, or is that like
Australians
a
are
thing?
one-liners too.
We use a lot of like slang words, but we've also got like slang words from the UK as well, like hit the frog and toad, hit the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, we shorten everything. Like if an American wants to go to the bar and have a drink, like maybe we should go to a bar and I think maybe get a beer. I'm like, let's go to the pub and get pissed. It's straight up, one sentence, 4 words.
Well,
you know what your mate wants to do. You want to go to the bar and drink.
Yeah.
Oh, so you like pubs? Well, this
Yeah.
is the media pub.
Yeah, there we go.
You want a drink?
Yes, please.
Bartender, hash boy.
I just recently learned what arvo means.
Yeah, afternoon. Yeah, I'll see you in the Arvo.
Yeah. I had no idea.
We
I don't
do
think I
have
knew that
some
one either.
confusing ones. Like if you don't know the direct answer, you say yeah, nah, and that's pretty much the two
It's like a
opposite.
yes, no.
But that's how you start the sentence of saying yeah, nah, because you're not sure
I
of
do
either
that.
one, and then you elaborate on that. But most people, when you say
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
nah,
maybe.
they're like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Like yeah, nah, I was maybe thinking about it, but
Yeah, no,
nah,
maybe.
Yeah, nah, left, right, same shit. So
Do I turn right?
I'm gonna go left, right here.
Take a left right here.
What is what's Harry Bank run on his helmet? What moot?
Oh yeah, he's got moot on there. He's got everything. He's got a couple of rashes too.
Is that how you pronounce that? Is it moot?
It's moot. Yeah, Americans can't say moot. It's
Moot.
pretty funny. Yeah,
Didn't
moot.
you try to get that on a license plate?
Yeah, it wouldn't like. Obviously, they ban offensive words when you get personalised plates, and moot's not an American word, and it was barred. You have to use 3 O's, which is the same thing. But
It's just not the
So
same.
it's-
I'm
essentially-
an adult now. I'm grown up. I wouldn't get that on my.
I
number plate.
don't think so. But
What is the definition of moot?
Moot. It's just another name for a vagina. Vertical taco, whatever. Same shit. Show us your moot.
Oh, man.
Maybe filter that bit out.
No, we're gonna leave that.
Yeah, no, that
Wasn't too
part's
bad.
good.
Just wait, it'll get going.
And yeah, if you drive like a big truck, it's diesel soot gets the moot. The bumper sticker in Australia.
Oh shit. Yeah, in America, it's cowboys' butts drive me nuts.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of times where I'm just have a blank look on my face
Because
after
you're
what you
thinking.
say because I just don't really
Gears are
know.
spinning.
Yeah,
I've been dealing with that for 16 years.
Why'd you bring my name into it? You said you've been dealing with it for.
Dylan. Nah, yeah, like I know how people understand me. Like Nate Adams, I've known him for almost 17 years, and he still gets confused on the phone when I talk too fast. So, yeah, you got to slow it down. Like
Yeah.
I said, when I said go to the pub before, it's like 4 words, and Aussie gets the idea. But an American, I say that with my accent, and they just, hang on a sec, start again.
yeah.
So I know who to slow it down for.
Right.
And, but sometimes you just like to confuse people.
You don't throw me off anymore. We've spent a good amount of time together,
Yeah,
but
you're used
you
to
don't like in the beginning. Not
But
anymore.
if there's a group of Aussies and we're having a convo,
Oh, God, you're
fucked.
You're like, I can't keep up.
Is this
with
Chinese?
Shit. Can I get subtitles? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was with the Aussies all this past week, and I was
the base jumping shit.
I was so out of place. There were times where I literally just couldn't understand what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it goes. But like, you literally have to talk slower here in America, just because. I don't know, because we just shorten everything, slang words,
Yeah.
and speak really fast. So.
And I've
For
also
sure.
just came to the conclusion that that you guys are fucked. Like,
Yeah, no, you're all bent.
Like, you
like
guys-
screws are loose.
yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah,
with
but-
all due respect, in the coolest way.
Oh yeah. There's,
In the coolest way.
Like,
a couple of kangaroos short in the top paddock for sure. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, what like Jacko, Harry, Sheeny.
Sheeny's a bit more calculated. He's
yeah.
more of a gentleman, actually. But
Yeah, he is. He's a little bit quiet. Like,
yeah.
Not
Nah. But he's a savage on a bike.
Oh yeah, you guys all do fucking gnarly shit.
Well, and these dudes all just rolled up to the one of the gnarliest bridges in the country.
Idaho, the base jump deal.
Yeah, that's
Idaho.
like the mecca of base jumping, and I guess this is the first time that they actually took like a legit class to like get taught how to do it.
Base jump before. Like that's just.
Jacko said he had like 10 or 15.
He probably did that.
His first one there, he gainered or front flipped, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like his first one at that site, he just starts flipping.
Well, I just picture how long it takes to walk back to the top. So first jump, you got to send it.
Yeah, and from my understanding,
Sink or swim.
he taught himself how to base jump. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure nobody taught him from what I heard.
He's taught himself a lot of shit like explosives, but you've seen his leg.
Yeah, we saw that go. But AC/DC still lives on his leg.
Yeah, like it's a bit spread out now, and his XGames medals are over the shop. But you learn from your mistakes. That was a bit of a costly one, but yeah, he's real smart. He's real switched on. So
yeah,
except when he bought a $50 tattoo gun off eBay and tried to tattoo all of us, it was a bit of a mess.
A $50 what?
A tattoo gun off eBay, and yeah, it was
just doing it himself.
Yeah, it was New Year's Eve, and we were all fucked up, and he had a tattoo on his leg that said "I do." I'm like, "What's that meant to say?" He said, "It's gonna say I'd do anything but fuck a dude. I just haven't finished it yet." Then he proceeded to tattoo us all, and he had needles and ink and shit everywhere. And it was
So you do have a low key tattoo somewhere.
Oh, I've got one on the lip. That's about it. It says LTD, loves the dick. I mean, living the dream.
Living the dream.
I heard them
What are you, Morgan Wallen?
meant to
Living
wear
the dream?
off, but I mean, would you put a bumper sticker on a Bentley?
Yes, I would. I have a coffee tattoo on my thigh. What do you think?
Yeah, you're different to me.
I got 3 white girl tattoos. I got a lightning bolt on my ankle. What do you expect?
Prove it.
It's on the other side. I'll show you
You
later.
got a tramp stamp?
I got a palm tree on the inner part.
But anyway, back to Jacko. He's really, really smart, really switched on. So when he learned how to base jump himself, I guarantee you, he studied it hard. He just seems a little rough around the edges, but he gets the job done. And he knows what he's doing. Just doesn't appear that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they seem like they knew what they were doing. It was just like I said, from my understanding, they weren't taught by anybody, or at least Harry kind of taught himself, or Jacko taught himself. Harry might have too. But I mean, fuck, they were throwing gainers, and Jacko ended up doing a double gainer before we left. Like, they are fucking insane. It's
a totally different ballpark. So we all ride freestyle, and you can roll the dice a bit, and you're only going to fall from 75 foot. But if you're skydiving, sweet, whatever, base jumping, even lower to the ground, if you do a little bit of a flip and mess it up, like there's only one outcome.
There is a lot of things that can go wrong. Granted, I did learn it is safer than I thought. It is a deal where, like, if you are packing your own chute, you basically have to fuck it up for something to go wrong. But yeah, I mean, the problem is there's only one other thing that can happen besides it really going perfect, is it going wrong.
Yeah.
And it going wrong means death.
Yeah, like base jumping, you don't have time to recover. Skydive, emergency shoot, whatever.
Yeah.
I did one, and the whole class the day before was about how to react in an emergency.
Yeah.
So if everything goes right, I wouldn't say
That's
it's
the easy part.
but it's like sweet. But if your shoot fails or whatnot, and you've got to pull the emergency, release that one, and then pull your emergency. If you do it back to front, you open your emergency chute and you fucked one, and then you basically just have a good look at the ground before you hit it.
Have you been skydiving?
I did one, and like they pretty much hold on to you the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's not like a solo one. Like I said, you assisted, but it's pretty cool when you come into land. But I can't really run because of my peg leg. So I lifted my legs up, and it was like a duck on water. I just skidded on my ass.
So it wasn't something that you wanted to...
I'd like to do it again, but all it's going to take is one, like, coming in hot and then just trip over my own feet and just face plant. So,
I mean, you might dislocate the ankle back into position, though. That could work.
I mean, it might turn it back into a left foot instead of a club foot. But,
looks like freaking Mr. Deeds Blackfoot. I've never seen someone walk on the sidewall of their foot.
Oh, yeah, it's peg-legged.
Yeah, shout out to Bilko. Supplied me with a fresh pair of Tech 10s. Calls me up one night. Hey, can you wear this pair of boots for me and break them in so that when I wear them, I can, like, feel what's going on a little bit?
I wanted you to put, like, 20, 30 hours on the things. Like, come back, mud stained, dirty, just clapped out. And then I just slide my boots into it with my 7-year-old booties that are all cut up.
They're all cut out. Those things are haggard.
And the main point in that is to so that you can have feeling down there, right? Because you can't feel anything.
Do you have feeling down there?
Like, which part we talking?
Oh no, we'll stick to the feet.
All the important parts.
The ankle, yeah. No, I like the plastic sides on the Tech 10 booty. I just cut off the whole right side because my ankle, it's like got a 15-degree bend in it, and then my tib fib's got like a 12-degree bend in it. So, yeah, it's pretty twisted from behind. So when you put it in a boot, it puts pressure in the wrong spot. So when you cut the whole right side off the booty, it allows my ankle to sit to one side.
Yeah. I did crash in him a couple days ago, so we got to
He ate shit.
We got to be making some progress.
I've never even won him, but I've probably crashed him. So
I think when you crash in him, though, I think it adds like another 5 hours.
Yeah,
like if you go flipping,
yeah,
it breaks him in even more. It's like running him over the car.
Couple of cartwheels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've crashed in every set of boots I've had. So
did you drop him from brand new, like a helmet?
I'm not really into that. I'll do it.
I'm a helmet.
I don't do that either.
He's the opposite. He said if he dropped a helmet once and then almost died. So he did right. For you?
Yeah, that first helmet.
Yeah, so you don't drop them anymore.
When I knocked myself out on the pit bike, that was the first helmet that I've ever done that whole fucking drop thing.
Yeah.
And then I go out and
it dropped you.
Completely blow my brains out in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I dropped one that had the old Troy Lee speed wing on it, and it broke that. I was devastated.
You always break the fucking speed wing off.
I know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the last one was from a cartwheel, not dropping it for...
it was an overextended knack, but
karma.
Who's counting?
Knack flip.
Knack to Superman.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Super knack.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. So, Mr. Bilko, what have you been up to in the
pandemic?
In the pandemic in the past couple years? I mean, you have I would say you have a pretty good legacy for yourself. You're kind of known as I mean, and again, with all due respect, in the coolest way possible,
bit crazy.
You're a crazy cunt.
bit out there.
Yeah,
you're probably one of the loosest ones out there.
I mean, for like the first 6 or 7 years I competed, I actually only rode for about 3.5 because I was busted up all the time. And it took me so long to realize when I came to America, I'm like, I have to do good to get sponsors and be able to stay here. And if I don't get on the podium, I'm screwed. So it was either podium or ambulance. And then I get hurt at the first event instead of getting like 6 and didn't ride for the rest of the year. And then I finally figured out that it's probably better to get, 5th, 6th, 7th, even 10th, and then be at the next one in a month. But took a long time to learn that, but yeah, I definitely risked it for the biscuit back in the day and sent it and did a bunch of cool shit, but also got hurt a lot. And so now I don't compete, I just do shows full time. But I mean, that's still a pretty busy gig. Like 2017, I did 52 shows for the year.
No shit.
With Nitro Tour?
Like Nitro, like a couple other Supercross shows, a few other things. But like majority was Nitro. But I just like that, having the ability to do a show and no pressure to perform. And like, I don't want to risk my neck and do double flips. I don't think I've got the talent to. I've only tried like 2 or 3 and they didn't go well. But
we saw how that went for Jo too. You know what I mean?
But like for our front flips, all that, I'm like, not going to happen. I've done enough where I've risked it. I'd rather just go and entertain and do shows and make my money that way. So, but it's good. Yeah, I haven't competed at XGames Freestyle for like 6 years now. But yeah, I have no ambition to go back there. But I mean, I could do a run. It's not going to be that good. I get last or second last. But don't want to push it that far. Been there, done that. So
did you grow up racing, or what led you into freestyle?
It's kind of weird. I grew up racing BMX until I was 12, and my dad owed someone owed my dad money, and he gave me a Pee-wee 50, and it was old and clapped out, and I ended up jumping it and snapping the frame, and it pulled the spark plug lead and the fuel line off in one go, and it caught fire underneath me. That was my Pee-wee.
You were born a daredevil.
That was my Pee-wee 50 done, but from like the BMX, I just loved to jump. So then when I started racing on my 65, I was like C-grade hack at the back of the pack. But if there was like a big tabletop or a jump, there's like, hey, here's that triple digit 2 just sending that thing Ronnie Maxwell. And then I get to the next corner, there's 2 ruts and I'd cartwheel or something. But
you eat shit in the corner, but you hit the biggest jumps out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, after all that, growing up, I just did like a lot of Supercross on my 80. I just loved to jump and race some motocross and stuff, and I raced a bunch of stuff on 80s. I went to the UK and did like the UK national championships, and then went to New Zealand and raced their national championships. But when I turned 16 and you go senior, I was like the size of a 12-year-old. I just couldn't hang on to a 125 for half an hour. I was just getting absolutely smoked. I had a cut down seat before I even did freestyle.
No shit.
I couldn't reach the pegs, but yeah, but jumping for me was just something that was so easy and natural, and then just had some fun on some ramps. Still race Supercross in Oz, but it's like arena cross. There's only 8 start gates, and if you make a final, you're doing pretty good, but I only made like 2 out of probably 20 goes over 5 years. So I knew I was never going to be a factory racer, so I just kind of focused on having a normal job and then just riding for fun, and then freestyle just turned into something like at the Supercross I'd go do some tricks off the triple and get paid good, and then the promoter would, like here with Monster Jam, he'd turn that into a monster truck show the very next day, so we'd stick around and make good money for the weekend, and then I'd go back to work all week, and then did a flip. 1 year later I was in XGames, and it kind of just went from there. But I think it's all my BMX background, how I just learned how to jump so well, and then
bike control and
well, yeah, with a racing background, you learn bike control. I've literally lost all my bike skills now. Like, if I go to the hills and stuff, I'm lucky to do a straight jump. But it's just, like, 9 times out of 10, when I ride all year, it's on a plastic run-up with a steel ramp and a wooden landing. And it sucks to say. Like, if I see a rut now, I freak out.
Right.
I'm willing to admit it. Like, I can't even whip off a dirt jump if I tried, unless I got wheel spin.
With a carpet lip in Beaumont?
Yeah.
Like, they put the carpet on the lip, you know?
Yeah, it's like favouring the freestyle guys. But, yeah, like, I used to be able to do half decent, like, get around a track, and now I'm just like, nah, don't even bother, mate. You haven't done that shit for that long that it's just going to end bad.
I almost got you out to the track one day, but you weren't having it.
I was going to say that didn't happen.
I
tried.
I probably would have hit the vet track for like 2.5 laps. So
I've tried, and then the whole time knowing him, I can't get him to go to the track.
Yeah.
For a long time, I'd ride my freestyle bike at the track, and that sucks. You got the ape hangers and the cut down seat. Yeah, it's just dog shit. But
that's uncomfortable.
If the vet track is like almost like Supercross, tabletop berm, tabletop, and that's kind of fun. But yeah, like Parlo, it's got some sandy section with like 4 ruts, and there's no way around the ruts. I'm like, oh, pull off.
Yeah, that's me when I go to Polo.
Right.
Yeah, if I kept riding motocross all these years when I wasn't, like, because I was traveling so much, if I kept up, I'd be able to ride around the track, but nothing fancy at all. Like, no speed, no scrubs, but had dirt bike skills. Now I've just got like plastic, wood, and steel skills.
Right. So, how did you get connected with, like Twitch and all the bigger guys when you were younger? Because again, you got a pretty decent start into it young. Well,
it was pretty funny. It was 2003, and I was just riding mini bikes and that, and actually that's the next year. But 2003, they had the Krusty Tour in Oz, and that was like Motley Crue coming to town. It was just 2 nights in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, just riots, people smashing shit, like rock stars, just
a good time.
Shit going mad. So me and my best mate Cam Sinks, we stood out the front and watched a couple of riders walk in and see what colour wristbands they had. And then made fake wristbands, and then went backstage of the show and like met Twitch and Deegan and Feist.
That's
all
funny.
those dudes. Yeah,
that's nuts.
I'll send you a picture. You can put it up on the little thing, and I'll look like I'm about 12. Yeah. And then the next year they came back for the tour, and then I was flipping a mini bike off the back side of the landing.
Just shit.
Carved it out like it was like a 6-foot tabletop on the back of the landing. Hit a third gear on an XR50, flipped that, and then the next year they came back and I was riding the show with them. So that was pretty funny, but. Yeah, that's kind of how it all started and how I met all them, and it's pretty much that's what kicked it off.
No shit. So how old were you at that point?
I think it was like 20 or 19 when we snuck in. I think I was like 18 maybe. And
so a young 18-year-old Bilko.
He looked 12.
Yeah,
looking 12. Try to give us a little bit of like a vision on what an 18-year-old Bilko looked like. Were you just fucking bouncing off the walls?
Yeah, extremely premature. Squeaky voice, even squeakier than now, but just...
I was going to say, have you hit puberty yet?
Yeah, almost. Next week, it's booked in. I was just wide open. Like, I just wanted to, like, I'd work a job with my dad, then go, like, build 50 shit, then jump that, then ride my dirt bike the next day. Like, it was just non-stop, like, almost ADD. But,
yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't really committed to dirt bikes because I didn't think I was good enough to ever make a career out of it. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty much just, I'm going to work 9 to 5. That's cool, whatever. I did an apprenticeship and I was focused on it for a while. But, once I started doing flips and getting paid to travel, I'm like, I'm going to give this a go. But, it was just like a side hobby for me to ride, but it was just kept doing it. And then I flipped a mini bike, then I flipped a big bike, and it just spiraled kind of out of control. Like the first year I did Krusty Tour, I was still going to trade school during the week. And
no shit.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But then I just quit my job after that, and 8 months later I did my first X Games. So I just didn't think it was gonna
go that quick.
Go that quick. I'm like, I'm gonna work, whatever. I'll just jump some dirt bikes on the weekend, whatever. And it's like
it just takes off.
Yeah, like I think me and my buddy Cam flipped. There's probably only 20 people in the world doing it, so it was still fresh and new, and it was like a big deal. That's how I would say it was easier back then to get into freestyle, but there was just such a select group of riders, and now there's probably 20,000 kids all over the world that can flip 75 foot. So when I did it, I was like, it was just had that
One of
feeling.
few.
It was like life changing. Like, oh my god, what did I just do?
I'm a
As I
bad
was riding
motherfucker.
away, but then I was like, nah, turn around, do it again, and I did it 4 in a row because I didn't want to stop and like lose focus. But yeah, once you landed that, it was like, oh my god, what did I just do?
Right.
Fuck.
So back then, things were just so much different. Like, I feel like everything was just way cooler back then. What, you know, when you were young and you would go do these big competitions like X Games and X Fighters and all that shit, when you would go to the bars afterwards, were chicks just flocking? Like, were you guys like rock
Nah,
stars?
the security
like, was it
guard
cool
was too
or
busy
no?
carding me because I didn't look old enough to be there.
Bilko's stuck at the door, and all the other boys are in there just getting smashed.
And then that was like the first few years here, I didn't learn that I had to speak a bit slower and turn the slang down a bit. So
Yeah.
I just see people, like I'd have a conversation with them and look at them, they're like doing that slow nod with a bit of a smile.
Having
like,
no idea what the fuck you're
yeah,
saying.
that's cool, but I have no fucking idea what you just said. Okay, cheers. And then they just walk off. So yeah, it took me a long time to realise that, but
But the parties afterwards and whatnot back then were way cooler and more wild.
I mean,
assume.
if we had like Snapchat, Instagram, social
Oh,
media,
you guys all
all
would've
that
been in
shit,
so much trouble.
I'd be in jail. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying I was like cool or gnarly or whatnot. I was kind of low key, but yeah, shit. Some of the stuff that just was normal stuff that happening now, it's just on everyone's Snapchat and that, and it's just not a good look.
Yeah.
I do know you have a whole a whole vault though of some good photos and videos.
I've got some good shit.
all that
back
stuff
there,
you're
but-
downloading. You
I
still
mean,
working on that?
There is. Oh, that's the old mini DV tapes before cameras had memory cards. But there's like 60 mini DV tapes, and I've uploaded them all to my laptop. And there's some pretty funny shit in there. But yeah, there's not much incriminating.
Let's make it into a
stuff.
little movie. I know an editor.
Oh, you do?
Hash boy.
Hanging out at the media pub. Nah, he's useless.
Oh, useless cunt.
Bilko tried asking him a question back there, and he looked like he had.
It's like, who
fucking-
wants to be a millionaire?
Hash
He's
boys-
like, can I use a lifeline?
Hash Boy's the smile and nod guy.
Yeah, no idea what the fuck. He'll understand what you said and still fucking
Yeah,
give you no answer.
he does that shit to me all the time.
Good,
Like, get it
thanks.
together. Come on.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, when we used to travel and that, it was pretty cool as a young kid, like early 20s. You travel somewhere and you're staying in a hotel in the city and you go to bars and like carry on and have a good time with all your mates. Like, kind of took it for granted for a while because you just thought, oh, sweet. But then you look back now, like, I got paid to travel and hang out with my mates and
Right.
have a real good time. And like a lot of the time, there's bar tabs and you didn't really spend much money and it was just open season kind
Right.
of thing. So yeah, we had a lot of good times and I really appreciate it now looking back and yeah, traveling all over the world with riders from other countries, riders from Australia, and you just don't think about that now. That like you don't see them ever. You see them once a year because they live. Everyone
Right.
lives in different cities and states and countries. So back then it was like just a boys' weekend every weekend.
Right. So back then, what was the money like? Like, were you making enough money that you were living comfortably, just riding shows and doing
I mean,
events
like
and stuff?
my mum's like a full-time bookkeeper as a normal job, so she's like a book Nazi. So
Gotcha.
she literally just took everything and just made sure I did something sensible with it and pretty much just hid it from me, which is the best thing ever. But like show fees
It's paid
back,
off pretty good.
yeah, show fees back then were like 4 times what they are now. Like
Yeah,
it
it's
was nuts.
insane.
You'd make a lot of money with that. I mean, sponsorship was still good. It just had different stuff. Like I used to have bonuses for magazine pictures.
No
Like
shit.
if you're in Transworld or something, you got a bonus off your sponsor. And
That's
now,
cool.
Now it's like views or whatnot. It's totally
Yeah,
different. Yeah,
it's
before,
super different.
It changed, yeah, before social media, and I'm like, with social media, you got to do everything every week, every day. Post stuff.
Consistency too.
Where like back then, you got a deal, and pretty much when they had Dew Tour and X Games and X Fighters, like your deal was just to do those. And at some point, like I only did X Games. So
Right.
if you did good there and you're on TV doing well at X Games, like that's your contract for the next year because
yeah.
there was no social or anything. That was your performance, and that got you. That was your resume for the next year.
That's so wild.
So, yeah, it's like
Simpler
full,
times.
Full 180 reverse from that now. But yeah, like Dew Tour was once a month, like 5 rounds. So, and then I didn't really get into X Fighters. I know I just never really got a start. The one time I did, I crashed the next day and broke my ankle, so that didn't really happen. But yeah, they were like 1 a month in Europe. There was 5 rounds of that, and they had really good start money. And so even if you didn't do that well in the contest, you'd still make good money.
Yeah.
And Red Bull took care of everyone really well, like you, your mechanic, airfares and everything. If you got hurt, they'd like fly you home business and stuff.
No shit.
So those events were rad. Then obviously over the years, like they turned down like one event in Madrid, and then the Dew Tour dropped off where Moto was only at 2 or 3 of them, and
Right.
then X Games went from Home Depot to the Coliseum, and then it went indoor at Staples Center, and yeah, Freestyle was just like riding around in a circle doing 75 foot. It's
Right.
kind of lost all that gnarliness and that, but yeah, like. back to what I was saying, like contests, they just kind of died off, and there was less and less and less. So it was, the money was like, it was just different. There was a different way to earn it back then. You get prize money, bonuses, and do the contest. Now it's how do you promote yourself? How do you make good content? How do you make good videos? You don't necessarily have to win a contest.
You
helps.
Almost just have to be more entertaining than the next guy.
Yeah. And this thing with social media, it doesn't always represent what's actually happening.
No, not at all.
You can show some good photos or get a good edit, and if you're a really good writer but you got no idea how to put a song to a video, then your video is going to get dog shit views.
And then you look like you suck.
Yeah, you're like, what am I doing wrong? Like, that trick was sick. But it's like, nah, scroll.
Well, your song was shit.
Right.
Yeah. Or you get the copyright deal.
Oh God, it's blocked in freaking outside of the U.S.
It's like, it's blocked in this many countries. And you
can you just fucking block it everywhere?
6 thumb flicks to read all the countries. I didn't know there's that many countries in there.
Honestly, fuck.
So you went to X Games, and this is a super weird year for X Games considering they let almost nobody come there.
This year?
This year at Axel's.
Yeah, until I was
looks like a graveyard.
Until I was Sheeny's bitch, I wasn't even allowed to go. I couldn't get a pass, and then
so that's how you got it.
Yeah.
Imagine that they turned Legends down.
Right.
You're gonna be down at the top there, mate.
I know.
No,
I'm just trying to
has been
hype man.
But yeah, like I was like emailed about a pass, and like, no, we can't get any more. COVID rules, all this crap, and I'm like, shit, it's an hour down the road, and I might not even be able to go watch.
Right.
But yeah, Sheeny, because it was so expensive to come from Oz with the flights and quarantine and all that COVID dog shit. Like Sheeny didn't bring his mechanic, so he had a +1. So he told me to wear a skirt and hold an umbrella for him, but I told him to fuck off.
I could have saw you doing it.
But yeah, that's how I went down there. It was just a weird event. Like, I get the whole COVID being an international event, the rules were stricter.
Yeah.
But just the whole course was gnarly. Like it used to be like that at Home Depot and Coliseum. It was big and it was challenging. But when it's like that, you need a couple of days to learn it. Like, you need to jump everything, go home, figure out which ramp spins the fastest or slowest. Like, Alderberg and Jacko were front flipping those ramps that kind of had a downhill landing because they had a bit further to go. Like, you need to go home, process that, and then think about a run that you might do, and then the next day in practice, go out and try that out with your mechanic, having a stopwatch to see how much you can fit in. Then come back the next day, then you qualify, then you go home and you can gauge what other riders are doing, and then you go and compete. Like, it's like they just said, do the gnarly shit
One
you
day,
can with no
15
practice. Yeah.
Right.
Like, don't be comfortable with anything. It's already fucking gnarly what you're doing, and the cricks are fucking crazy, but do it will make it harder for you. Like, no practice.
One thing, or go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go.
No, I'll go. No, you go.
No, shut the fuck up. I'm talking. No, one thing that I was curious about, remember we were talking about, even with Jo, how the Australian ramps and the US ramps are a little different. Is there a reason for that?
Shit, I'll probably get in trouble for this, but like Americans, they were the first one to build a freestyle ramp, and so it was like, yeah, we're fucking awesome. We built it. That's the way it should be. But their ramps go like flat, a radius, and then a flat. So there's 3 things that can be inconsistent with every single ramp. And an Australian ramp and Europeans, it's just one rolled bit of steel with a 9-meter radius. So no matter where you put it, 2.6 meters at the end, 7 meters or something long, the radius does not change.
Yeah.
But the American ones with the flat, you cut it here, you cut it there. It brings in 2 different variables that are just completely different the whole time. And then for about 10 years, they jack them up about 12 inches, a foot. I'm like, why don't you just build it taller? Like, that'd be the smart thing to do. But yeah, everything's different. The super kickers,
the degree's different,
the quarter pipes, like how steep they are and everything. And back then it wasn't that bad, like jumping 75 and that. Like, they might pop you a bit higher or lower. But when you're going down to do double flips and you got to be so precise on how you're spinning that, like, you need to hit different ramps and figure out how it does it. So
it's got to be a different feel.
Oh, for sure. Like, you can spin fast, you can spin slow. It's just, but you need time to figure that out. And yeah, with all the changes, and obviously most of the time you're on a borrowed bike when you travel. So all that shit changes.
Well, if you eat shit, it's not your bike.
Well, the first time I ever came second time to America to do a contest, it was Denver Dew Tour, and I had no fucking idea about elevation. Like, the highest place I've ever been in Australia was Ayers Rock, but I've actually never been there. Like, it's like, what, 500 feet above sea level. So I got to Denver and went to the shop, bought a brand new 250F and put all my shit on it, rode out and practiced. I'm like, this thing's running like shit. oh, fuck it, I'll do a flip just to get it out the way, and the thing just bogged on the ramp. And I landed on the front fender pretty much.
No
and just end for
shit.
ended. And they're like,
Was
yeah.
that the 08 Honda 250?
That was 06. And they're like, yeah, that'll run slow. You're at like 7,000 foot elevation. I'm like, what does that mean?
What the fuck's that
Like,
matter?
you're pretty much on an XR 150
Doesn't the
right
carburetor just adapt?
now. No, it bogs like a motherfucker. That'll Honda bog
It's not
on
a fuel
those.
injection. Oh, they were bad already.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
Even
was
at sea level.
fucking terrible. It was like roll the dice. You do like 20 flips in a row and it wouldn't bog, and then the next one you do it, it just bongo off the ramp. And you're like, oh, am I going to make it? Am I going to see dirt before the impact? Like, am I at least see dirt and land heavy on the front wheel, not fucking upside down?
Fuck that.
So anyway, that was my introduction to elevation. But yeah.
So what is your opinion on the current state of, we'll say,
Freestyle.
X Games? Yeah.
I mean,
Because there's really nothing else besides X Games, right?
no, like I said, they used to have 5 rounds of Dew Tour, like 5 rounds of X Fighters. There was the LG World Championships at Pomona. Like, there was a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And now it's like, I appreciate X Games coming back and actually making an event happen,
Right.
just to,
Yeah,
give
to
the
do
riders something
something.
to do, which is
Right.
awesome. It was just shitty how, like, it's not their fault. It was just restrictions or probably budget.
rules they have to
just
follow.
One,
Right.
if it was 75 foot, like 2 75s in a loop, that one day practice, that's fine. But
Yeah.
you got people coming from all over the world and gnarly course, different shit, borrow bikes, and they just didn't have enough time to prepare. So it was kind of, for me, I was kind of disappointed for the riders that they didn't get to be fully prepared for the event. They were still learning shit when they were going out for their contest run, and I just like to see everyone comfortable and happy with their setup, and so they can send it to their full potential. They can
Right.
get way gnarly when you're comfortable.
Right.
Oh,
But
yeah, that's
if-
how it should be.
If you're still a little bit sketchy, it's like, oh,
You don't
should I
really want to go send it.
yeah, or if you do, there's a fair chance you might fuck it up.
Right.
So it's like when they used to do it at Home Depot, they'd build a Supercross track, and like Supercross riders are gnarly. They can go inside, outside, and all they do when they hit the jump is just maybe pull a tear off or a scrub.
Right.
Like, we've got our steering dampener up that tight, you can barely steer, and like pin it at a ramp to do a backflip trick, and they build them a berm and not us.
Right.
They like build a Supercross track and go, righto, where can we fit the freestyle shit in? And for the 120 ramp, like, we'd ride around the edge of the track, ride on the angle off the triple up ramp, and then land down the edge of another jump in the other lane for the rhythm section, click third, and hit the 120 ramp.
Fuck.
I'm like, can we get a berm, please?
Dude,
Like,
I remember a few weeks back you posted a throwback video from what year was it?
08.
It was
pancake.
08, but
Yeah.
dude, it like literally it looked like you're just doing transfers, like off the Supercross jumps to hit the ramps.
Yeah, like I
you
come
gotta
up
see that
short.
video. It's
I come
nuts.
up short on the step on because I was trying to do my foot hook thing,
Yeah.
and then I was just wheel spinning in this hard pack, like full of marbles, and then just went, oh fuck it, I'm gonna send it. So I was lucky it was a step down. I actually made that 3, but yeah, it's like, come on, like they can't water it because if it gets too wet, it delays TV. So
Right.
I'm like, can you guys at least like?
Well, it doesn't really dry in there either.
I'm like, can you sweep the marbles off so it's not like, like
Yeah.
I've been like pebbles on top of concrete. It's just not
Sketchiest fucking
you just
thing ever
wheel
on a dirt
spin.
bike.
Yeah, and when you've got like steering dampener, like our bikes are not set up to corner.
No.
Like
Stiffest things ever.
the seat's cut down, so you're already sitting in the middle of the bike. You can't get your weight forward to go around a corner.
Yeah.
So like when you're heading at a ramp with your dampener up and your wheel spinning and getting all sketchy, and then you've got to like if you're on a straight jump, it's fine. That's fucking easy. But you want to jump upside down and hang on by your feet? Like, come on, make it make it a bit easier just to get to the jump.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
So I mean, to take it back a little bit, I agree with I give X Games mad credit for making it happen, and again, not everything's going to be perfect, especially with where we are in the world.
I mean, there's always going to be that little asterisk against it in the history
Yeah.
books. But like the BMX, a lot of the guys are going to the Olympics, so they didn't compete. So
Right.
but it was like I said, it's awesome.
But I mean,
They did.
in general, like, what is like your opinion on the state of freestyle in general? Because like you said, like a freestyle guy back in your generation was able to do comps, throughout the year and have events throughout the year to make a decent living.
Yeah.
Now these dudes are flying out here, and I mean, most of the X Games roster was
Australian.
fucking Australian.
And right now with COVID, it's like Jo that's staying with me right now. He probably dropped about 20K to come in.
Yeah, well,
and,
Right.
and then he got shortchanged on practice time because every other rider was riding freestyle and best trick, and he was just doing best trick. So he got there at 8 a.m. and he didn't touch his dirt bike till 6:30. And like, yeah,
Right.
go send it right now. New ramp, new bike, whatever. Just throw in the deep end. He's like, invested all that money to come here, and he just doesn't even get a fair shot to even get used to the ramp to
Right.
compete. So,
well, exactly that. Like, you know, these guys are spending all this money to come here, and exactly what you just said. You know, like Jo didn't really get the opportunity to even get comfortable.
yeah.
Then he goes out and gets hurt, and what most people don't realize is these dudes are looking at, like, when they go to book a flight back home right now, they're looking at a fucking $15,000 to $20,000 flight home.
If you're lucky on a certain day, it might be 5, 6, 7, 8 grand, but that's economy, and it could get cancelled before you get there.
Right,
So,
and that's, I mean, we
Imagine where you can go for that amount of money.
right, like we did some looking, and like the only ones that were popping up were over 10 grand.
Yeah.
that is ridiculous
and
for
then when you land, you have to pay $3,500 to quarantine.
for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, and then right now, like, our borders are shut from state to state. We've only got 7 states, so it's a bit easier.
Yeah.
But, like, if you fly into Sydney, which is the only way you can go from LA, and then you quarantine there for 2 weeks, you have to, if he goes to Melbourne and the border's shut, he has to quarantine again for 2 weeks. Or
Are you kidding me?
Apply for an exemption to get out of it. Like, so it's not just as easy as leaving Sydney quarantine
And driving
then
over.
going
Right.
home. So, you got to get, like, paperwork and shit, but it's a headache. Like, they'll make him do 4 weeks if you don't do the right paperwork.
Fuck. So, like, to make it not as comfortable as possible for these dudes here, like,
I get everyone's working on a budget. Like that Eric Pennard that works for the riders and that, and it's like the sports organizer. He was pushing for more practice. Like he got it, he understood it, and it just, I guess it was like a budget thing. And they, if they felt like they were doing the right thing, which they were by giving it, actually having an XGames.
Yeah.
It was just gnarly being if it was Staples Center with, like I said, a loop track, it's just easy. You can adapt to that in one day. You ride out first practice and you've done everything you need to do. But
right. And that's where, again, I don't want to sound like I'm taking it away from him, but I guess ultimately my question is,
it was awesome to have it. It was just more risky.
like they could have
risk
done
over
more, though.
reward for the riders. Like all the Aussies that flew around and spent, and like they didn't feel like they rode like they could have with more like practice time and preparation.
Right.
But it's still their sport and it's still what they want to do. So it's just you did everything you could and invested a lot of money, a lot. It's just you didn't get a fair chance. It was almost like a bit of a roll of the dice, like, and not so much up to you. Like when you're comfortable and everything, it's all on you. If you screw up, it's on you. But if you don't have enough practice time and that, it's kind of, there's so many other things that do it. But obviously, every one of those guys is passionate about it and they want to do it just because like they want to win. Like when I got my bronze medal in 06, I didn't even know how much the prize money was. I didn't even care. I was just,
You're just stoked.
I'm like, I just did that and then found out later that California taxed me an extra 10% on top of the 30 they took before that. So, but yeah, like that.
Welcome.
That didn't faze me at the time because I'm like, I just want to ride my dirt bike and do it. It's just gnarly now. Like it was such an investment for all those guys to come and do it, and then. Normally back then you'd spend like a quarter of that, you get to the event and have a fair crack of the whip to go have a shot. Now it was like spend a shit ton of money and just go hurry up, do it now, compete. Like it was just, it's hard. It is hard, but like, sometimes you go some places and shit's not right and ready and you adjust and you hit it and do what you got to do the show. But
do you see it getting better?
I mean, I hope to see next year. I mean, I like Axel's place and it's awesome. If they get more practice, fine. And they, like this first day of practice, the super kicker they used for best trick was like another 10 feet lower, and they ended up having to build a pad and change it all around. I'm like, hasn't someone tested this course like at home?
Yeah, that's kind of unprofessional.
We used to have a course test. We go out and jump some shit or do whatnot and figure out what was was that going to work or whatnot. And like we always had a standard gap between doubles, just like Supercross sweet. You jump, you land, you got your hands on your bars, your feet on the pegs every time. But like when you flip and you let go of the bars and you come back, you might tap your shifter and that. It's good to have an extra 30 feet. Because I've seen a bunch of riders. Levi Sheward broke his femur because he hit neutral and rolled straight off the next up ramp. Andre Villa did half a backflip off the second one because they were so close.
Yeah.
So just like stuff like that, you get people to test it out and go, nah, that works, that doesn't, that's dog shit, fix this. And then like that's on the Tuesday, and then Wednesday practice, and you can figure it out. So everyone that goes out there has a good shot, they're comfortable, and they do the sickest tricks ever. That's what XGames is about. You go push the limits and do gnarly tricks. But
100%.
if you're like throwing mud at them, getting roosted and shit as you're coming up to the ramp to do a trick, like it just makes everything harder than it should be.
Right.
And you don't get to do as good as shit that you want to do. So. But I hope next year that if it is at Axel's again, they get 3 days or whatnot, and bit more rider input on like what they think should be good for freestyle, because everything else was sick.
Well, if they truly care about the sport, they should.
Yeah, I mean, they did care about the fact they ran an X Games this time.
True.
Like, it was obviously a big gamble, so I'm just hoping next year that they have a bit more time for it. But quarter pipe was rad. Best whip, it was just different having 4 ramps, and you don't know.
Well, it was weird how they did 2 back to back. Like,
Yeah.
didn't it used to just be 1 ramp? You drop in 1 ramp.
And then the first ramp was like the new Levi Sherwood next generation ramp. It's like a 75-foot kicker on steroids. It's a bit tall, a bit steeper, but no one had ever hit that. Like,
So you don't really know how it's going to react.
Corey Creed never hit a 120 ramp until he rocked up there, and he didn't even know till 3 weeks before. And like, he was peeling big whips in it, but it's like, shit, I'd like to know. But even the judging, like, I announced the Sydney X Games, and they're like, yeah, it's our overall impression. I'm thinking, all right, they got to do a big turn up, big turn down, big whip, and then I was commentating it all wrong the whole time. Like, it didn't even matter. It was just the single biggest whip you did.
No shit.
So I think that's what happened anyway. Maybe I was just clueless. But like with that Levi ramp, then into the 75 or the 120, people were whipping left and right. It was like, could you reward that guy because he's good off that ramp, or like, shit, like, it's just, I think it's a lot more simpler if there's one down ramp with maybe 2 ramps going to it, 75 and then the next gen Levi ramp, and then you just watch that, not land there, do this, do that.
I mean, I did hear Jeremy say, like, his input on it was it gives the riders a little bit more option just to show what they can do, but yeah, it made it a little bit confusing for like the average viewer.
It definitely takes skill to do all that shit. Like, it's full credit to whip off there, but it's sort of like a contest point of view. Like, especially, I mean, step up. Like, you watch it. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. Like, freestyle got so confusing after a few years because someone would do something gnarly that looked cool, and then he score shitty, and everyone in the crowd, they went mad when he landed, and then they see his score and like, oh, what's going on here? But like, step up, you make it, you don't. Whip, one jump, it's okay, the judges still do it, or whether it was votes, but now judging, like, people get a fair idea. Now there's so many elements in a best whip contest. It's like, did he hit that ramp cool? Did he whip both ways? Did he double hit the 120? It just needs to be a little bit simpler. I think even if you had the 120, just have 120, 75 next gen ramp on one landing. Yeah. Like, not the double. It was just It was just like a totally different thing. And like, it's cool when those dudes peel it off the 120. I'm just like blown away. Right. But it was like, how do you compare? He did this. I don't know if Tom Parsons even, like, did he do much off the 120? I don't think he did.
I don't know if he hit it.
His whips were fucking huge. Off the set, and he won.
Upside
so it's
down,
like, okay, did you judge him? Like, if you're sitting at home, you think, did he get just judged off that one whip? I thought they were judging every ramp.
Right. It's not super clear.
It just made it, like, he definitely won. That was the biggest whip ever, but it was best whip overall impression on all these different ramps, or it was just one big whip. So
even Jeremy had said too, like, the judges weren't like sitting right there watching; they were watching on like a screen.
Yeah, it was like,
so it's like, what can you fucking see?
Well, you're basically depending on the cameraman's angle.
If you're on the wrong camera angle, like if I go 360 and the dude's on the left, it looks like a crossed up backflip. Right. Which pretty much all I do now anyway. But yeah, like if you're on the other side or in the right spot, it just looks upside down. It ruins it. Yeah. Right. So if you're sitting there as a judge and old mate in the TV or the whatever, he puts the wrong angle on, you're like, that was dog shit.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I watched it on TV, and honestly, like, none of those angles were super good. They didn't really make the whips look that big. But then the Dirt Shark video, those angles made,
with the chopper coming in, like,
dude, it made, like, Wanky's whip, I was like, wow, okay, that's like one of the biggest ones I've ever seen him throw from that angle.
And normally they can mess up like the camera angles when it's 175 kicker. Right. Now they've got a 75 going left, 75 going right, 120 in the middle. It's like, shit, what camera angle do you even put up? So right. I just think it overcomplicated the whole whip deal. Like I said, cool bike skills, gnarly that they do it just from the viewer watching, and what are you actually judging on as an overall concept for the contest? It's hard, make it hard to follow. Made it more like freestyle. We're like, shit, he did this. Like, he crashed in his run, but he still got a decent score. Like, what's going on? I got no idea. So.
Yeah, they almost need to just dumb it down for everybody because people, like, just don't
make
really...
it easily watch. Like, it was when Endurocross first was in X Games. I'm like, what's going on here? It's Endurocross. And then my mechanic from Australia was like, have you watched this shit? Right. I went and watched it, and it's like, it could be like 3 corners to go, and old mate gets stuck on a log or runs into a lapper and shit, and everyone's cheering because the next guy's coming around.
Bike ends up in the stands.
Yeah, it's like intense, and then the checker flag goes, and he won. That's it. And everyone gets it. They understand it.
Insane.
And honestly, all that shit was fucking sick. Like, there used to be so many more events at X Games.
Was sick.
X Games used to be like
Rallycross?
Didn't it used to be like a week long?
It used to go for like 4 or 5
2
days.
weeks.
Like you
Or,
do
yeah.
practice at Home Depot, then you drive up, load your bike, drive to Staples Center for like best trick
Right.
practice. And
It's
Yeah.
so shitty that it's not like that anymore.
like I think they just lost so much when it went to Texas. They just went to that Circuit of Americas and
Yeah.
threw this over there, threw that over there. Like
Yeah.
the freestyle course was about a mile from the pit road where the building was with the athlete lounge.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let you bring your vehicles in, and they're like, yeah, the golf buggies do like round trips, and it's like 110 degrees. I was gonna say 45. That's Celsius.
Yeah.
But like it's
Just
hot,
ruins it.
That's
it's
fucking cold.
hot as shit, and it's asphalt everywhere, just
Yeah.
steaming. And then by the time a golf buggy rocks up half an hour later to take you to the athlete lounge to sit in the aircon, you got to get in it, go back. And
Just ruins the whole trip.
Windy, dusty, just like shit
so
conditions.
dusty.
And then the next year it flooded. They had lightning. They had to kick all the crowd out because of the lightning strike.
No shit.
And it was a massive flop there. I think they had a 3-year contract. They only did 2 because no, we're wasting our time. Like Skate Big Air never happened. It was like it just didn't work.
I just don't get why would you pull it out of California?
Money.
That's
Money.
I mean,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Circuit of America was like, all right. I think there was like 3 cities in like hoping to get it, and then Texas was like, here's the checkbook.
Right.
It
I feel-
just sucks because California is where you're gonna fucking get.
Like that's
most
everyone that grew
people.
up
Right.
watching X Games. That was it. Like
Right.
Like Staples Center was so gnarly when you walk into Staples and you see the mega ramp. Like
That was so cool.
Like you've
Right.
got to catch an elevator that normal people catch to go to their seats in the top
Right.
tier, and then just drop in from the roof, and then you're like your best trick ramps next to it. It made it look so much fucking gnarlier in Staples. It went from the top of the tier on that side to the other end of the stadium.
Right. And that's the shit that when people show up that they're like,
You walk in and go,
Mind-blowing.
whoa.
Right.
right.
I feel like they financially, like even like today, they could bring all that back and do it. People are just money. Everyone's greedy. You know what I mean?
It's like,
Like, because I feel like they could still afford to run the events like they used to. They would make so much money more money now doing that again.
like shit
like-
like Staples Center, they charge through the ass to like have an event there. Like it costs so much. So
Oh yeah,
if you go to
everything's-
a smaller town, like when we do nitro shows, if you go to a small city, just because it brings people into the town, they'll give you the overall venue for free because they want people
Damn.
to come in. But I'm trying to think what venue it was. Like Vegas for the last round of Supercross, Salt Lake City, like Utah, the state of sport. They helped Feld out just to bring him there. Where
Well, I'm
Vegas-
pretty sure they paid Feld $16 million for
yeah,
like 2 or 3 years to have the finale
so they
there.
pay to have it there in
Feld.
Vegas. They have to pay for that shit Sandboyd Stadium that's way out of the middle of nowhere.
When you know how much the new stadium's probably going to be.
yeah,
I'm wondering if that's why they don't have
Yeah.
a Vegas round. yet.
They will. I'm sure they will.
they will, I guess, just for the hype and that. But like, it just shows like money. Certain states, certain towns, they'll do it. Like they'll just. I'm not saying they just pick the cheapest option. They
Yeah.
do,
Right.
but if they're running a business,
It's got to make sense.
Yeah, don't make dollars. It don't make sense.
Well, like
but if you don't, you're not going to drop 16 million just to keep the fans
No.
happy to have it in
Yeah.
Vegas.
No, like Atlanta, Georgia, they had to stop doing the new Georgia Dome because they charge too much. That's why it's at the Speedway now.
That Georgia Dome's done now. It went flat.
No, the new one next door,
Oh,
Mercedes-Benz
yeah,
Center.
no, we did the last show in the dome.
Oh, you did?
Before they popped it.
I liked that dome. It was cool.
Have you ever been in those stadiums with like the roofs held up by air pressure?
No,
Like
wait,
they
what?
actually don't. Like the Georgia Dome, the roof, and Minneapolis, the old
US Bank.
The air pressure holds the roof up. Not US Bank.
Oh,
that's
the
brand.
old one?
Yeah, like the air pressure holds the door up. So when you go to leave, it's like in Perth they have one. Like you open one door and they have to shut it, and because if you open two at once, it's like a vacuum and it just sucks you straight.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's not like the door will just slam that fucking hard because the air pressure is holding the roof up. It's just like a big tarp.
That's sketchy.
Fun
That's
fact.
super sketchy.
Yeah, no, it works.
I think I do remember. The
But it
old,
works,
the
right?
old
Yeah.
Georgia Dome was that way?
Yeah.
I think I remember that. The roof looked weird as hell when you're
Yeah,
inside.
it just looks like the top of
Looks
a
like a
tent.
tarp.
But yeah, it's the air
tent.
pressure that holds it up. It's not
Yeah.
structurally held up. But yeah,
That's so
if
weird.
you open two doors, you get ready to get slapped in the face by a door.
Interesting. So, do you think that there is anybody that could basically hold events and kind of bring the scene back? Do you think that that's even possible at this point?
Like when you say events, you mean shows, contests?
Yeah.
I mean, like Nitro now, we've toured, done a shit ton of shows, but we're like struggling. I would say struggling, but we're going to like small cities doing low scale. And like Travis, he's older now and he does so much already. Like he doesn't travel all the shows and ride at them. So,
Right.
and we've done it already. Like it's kind of, I wouldn't say played out, but it's been there, done that. So now we don't go to the basketball stadiums like your Staples or like all the big major cities because we don't sell enough tickets to even pay for the venue hire. So
No shit.
So it's like it's that scaled down. So we do a shit ton of shows still, but they're in towns that half of them I haven't heard of, or they're in smaller cities and that because it's lost that big boom that it had 5-6 years ago when we did a show in Anaheim and Staples Center. Like they're only an hour apart.
Right.
But it was just a huge hype back then. So as far as that, it's kind of played out. But I mean, there's enough work for riders to make money. It's just not the same money it was. But as far as contests, I mean, X Games, I'd love to see X Fighters make a comeback.
Yeah.
Even if they just did one event in Madrid.
That'd be pretty cool.
Madrid's a little weird just being in the bull ring. I mean, they work really well to get what they can in there. But like the 120-foot ramp, as you're heading at it, you can't even see the top of the ramp from the tunnel as you're riding. That's how far.
Really?
You come out of the tunnel, don't you?
The base of the ramp is in the tunnel, and like you
Whoa,
almost feel like
that's
you're
freaky.
gonna hit your head on it. So you're like third gear
That's
pin.
nuts.
You can't even see where you're going. Like you just see this ramp in a doorway, and then as you hit the base of it, it's like bang, you just pop up into the middle of the.
That's freaky.
So like they do really well with the quarter pipes and like the super kicks and everything they had the last couple of years. So I'd love to see them come back because that was a really good platform. And like this year, Europeans, there was only 2 of them that come over to do X Games. And, in previous years, they're like, I'm not going to fly there because by the time I fly there with me and my mechanic, if I don't get top 4, like I'm not making any money.
Right.
So it'd be cool if, that stuff come back. Like X Fighters did even one off and X Games did it properly next year with all the right resources and everything. I know they will if they can. So that's it. It's kind of weird though with freestyle now. Like if you look at everyone's age, pretty much everyone's over 30.
Right.
So you got Harry, then you got that Benny Richards kid that just came. Like there should be a qualifier, I think, so a lot of people can actually have a go at it. I mean, it doesn't have to be much, but at least something, so it like opens it up to even previous riders or new riders to come in. But that's what I'm saying. The funny thing is, like the youngest dude in freestyle is like I think BM is 29, 30 now, but like everyone's almost 30. There's like probably 1 or 2 dudes in the last 3 years that are in their 20s. And then you look at BMX and skate and like they're all young dudes. And then you get to freestyle and they're a bunch of grumpy old bastards.
Right.
But like when you started, everyone was probably about, 18, 19?
Yeah, we're all younger then and we kind of came up as the sport
I think it's just the same guys. It's all of you.
So like now, like if you're a young kid and you want to do freestyle, like the amount of time, money, resources it takes to find someone to, let you use their land, build a landing. Then you need a foam pit or an airbag. How are you going to afford
progress,
that?
Yeah.
How are you going to learn these gnarly tricks? And if you can only do it a couple of nights a week after you finish work, like you ain't going to catch up to the shit people are doing now in 5 years like that. So it's. I mean, you got to kind of have a bit of a helping hand. Like Jacko really looks after the Richards brothers, then they're doing awesome. So, like, I'm not saying they've got it easy. They've got access to those resources. But if you're another kid and you can actually jump and do good, but you're, like, building a dirt takeoff because you can't buy a steel ramp and trying to do a front flip, let alone just jump the thing, like, it's such an intense sport and the level it's at now. Like, you can't just play catch-up in a year.
Yeah,
like, you can't come in as a kid and go, I want to do X Games next year. Like, unless you've got a huge budget or something like that, you're not going to learn double flips, front flips, backflip combos.
Yeah, it's just too gnarly.
And then buy like a quarter pipe ramp costs about $6 or $7 grand. Like not the big ones they use for the high air comp, like the contest ones they used to use, like to do flares and shit. Like who can afford a $6,000? That's about the same as a bike. So that's kind of gnarly now. Like there's no younger kids coming up just because of that. It's such a hard sport to do. Like skateboard, you can travel the world, just throw your skateboard, strap it to your backpack. You don't even need to check a bag.
Right.
So, and BMX,
and it's cost efficient.
Yeah, BMX, you pull it apart, you go wherever, you've got your bike, you're sweet. Like freestyle, you got to fly your suspension, TSA, take your shit out every time you leave.
LAX.
Get a borrowed bike, put it together, and might not go that well, whatever. But it's just so much more to get from A to B just to be a competitor or rider at a demo or an event in freestyle. And yeah, it's gnarly that there's no kids that are at that age. I'm sure there's kids out there doing demos and everything, but as far as X Games, like there's no one knocking on the door of a young age.
There's really not, no.
Yeah.
There's nobody, there's not like that up and coming kid where like, oh, I've seen this kid, he's fucking, this kid could fucking come win X Games.
Right.
There's nobody.
No, and like Jared, he's gnarly, like he does step up so gnarly, he does whip so gnarly, and then freestyle, he's kind of like, as good as he is on a dirt bike, he's not like he's just mediocre, like backflips here and there, doesn't do many flip combos, but like he's so good, but he's so good at that stuff. But freestyle, he's like, nah, is that gnarly? Like I'm not going to do
not really
that
worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it for him. And he's so good at it. But then like who's the next kid?
Right.
There's like I said, there's the Richard brothers, but they pretty much live with Jackos, so they're taking full advantage of it. They're awesome.
Right. They're almost like already in it. Like I didn't know who Benny Richards was until X Games, but now like Rob and all the guys, he's one of the boys.
Yeah,
like,
but even if like some random kid was young and he wanted to do it and he spent 2 weeks at Jacko's, he's not even going to get close to catching up. Like it takes so much time, commitment, and effort that it's kind of weird and gnarly that there's like the 30+ bet class and then there's not much coming up behind that. So it's kind of like as far as X Games and all that stuff goes with freestyle, it's like what are we going to do to keep the sport rolling? And they do a good job as it is for now, but shit, we're all getting older. Like,
got to find some new talent.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And there's not much talent for shopping.
That's true.
So from somebody who we've been kind of talking about this lately in the last couple episodes, from somebody who was competing in X Games probably in its prime, money wise.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think the deal is for these dudes that are competing now? For somebody to go win an X Games gold, is that setting them up for the year? Is that...
I mean, obviously, yeah, you're going to get good money and bonus off sponsors, but anyone that goes and does that and throws it all on the line to win X Games, they're not thinking about the financial benefits. They're like, I want to, win this moto. I want to win that Supercross. I want a podium in Anaheim. I want to win X Games. I'm going to train my ass off, and then whatever money comes after, I'll deal with it. Hopefully, you don't get shafted.
Yeah.
But yeah, still, prize money obviously is less and less. The amount you got to spend to get there, the sponsors and everything, it's obviously less and less. But if you're committed and you want to do it, you don't give a shit about the money. The check comes a month later, and you're like, oh, that was sweet.
But I mean, at some point, the money does have to matter to keep it going.
You have to be financially viable. Like I said, you got to maybe buy an airbag or have a place to practice, maintain your bikes, pay a mechanic so your shit's on point all the time, and do all that stuff. So if you're all those top tier guys that are in X Games, it's gnarly now because still people even question shit. Like I said, the Europeans don't come to X Games that much because it costs so much to get there that they might not make the money. Where back in the day, I mean, X Games was kind of weird. One year they have 10 riders, the next year they have 16. It's just, yes, but for now it's like shit. Anyone that's doing that, they're making enough to support what they're doing in practice, but they're not thinking about the benefits if they do win. They deal with that after. But it's like if you were like, I wanted to compete in 2 years at X Games, you'd probably have to invest a couple $100,000 and time and effort. And if you're working a regular job to support yourself, it's just so gnarly for that. But I mean, it's cool with whip, step up, quarter pipe and that. It's not as gnarly. It's definitely, they're all gnarly, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away.
Yeah, it's just different.
But for me, a 60-second freestyle run where you do 8 to 10 of your gnarliest tricks back to back in a row is shit. That's
a lot of pressure.
You got to earn it. I used to hold my breath. I ended up stopped writing a trick list on my bar pad. I just wrote breathe because I'd do 2 tricks and I'd be like, I just landed that. I only cartwheeled. What was the next one? Shit. And then just wrote breathe, and you can ride around and do it, but it's one trick after another. You don't have time to process anything. You just flat out. Where quarter pipe it's fucking gnarly. I won't even hit it. I'm too scared.
Oh, yeah.
It's up, down.
So
it's that one jump, and it's kind of repetitive, same as a whip. Well, they do different whips, but I don't know, I'm going to sound like a dick, saying it's not that gnarly, but to me, FMX contest runs for years were fucking, here we go, roll the dice. This is going to be 60 or 90 seconds of the craziest shit you've ever seen.
Right. I'd rather just do the one trick.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to think. And even in the throwback video you posted, you're kind of you're trying to piece it all together. You can see your brain thinking out there. You're wait, fuck, pull the fucking flaps up on the handlebars, put them down, that.
Flip levers might, but
flip levers, all that shit.
Now, if you land with your steering damper too tight and you go to turn your bike like a normal dirt bike, you forget and you don't turn the bars that quick, and then you overshoot the corner.
Every time you hit something, you're adjusting something for the next trick. It's that's so much shit to think about.
If you get squirrely and land with a foot or whatever, you get all flustered and pin it around the corner, and then you might forget to do your dampener up or whatever, and then you just screw that up because you're do it, gnarly trick, do this, do that, and it's just so much. I'm saying 60 seconds, it's a long time, but it's so much to think about.
Depends what you're doing in 60 seconds.
I'll be done by then. No, but the amount of gnarly tricks you do in that, Jacko does a no-handed fronty, then a double flip and then backflip combos or whatever and just turn the corner, pin it, do one after another. So you've got to process a lot of shit in that time, and I'm talking gnarly shit, like one stuff up with that. I mean, any of those events, whip, quarter pipe, whatever, but you're rolling that dice 10 times in 60 seconds in
Honestly,
a freestyle run.
yeah.
So, yeah, I just think, FMX it's a fucking gnarly sport.
It is. It's crazy because, like, X Games this year, I don't remember who it was. I think he was on a KTM, but his trick was, or one of his tricks was a 360.
Yeah,
and it fucking blows my mind. You make 360s look so damn easy.
He does them like way gnarlier and flatter like BMX.
I feel like he does it more like a whip 360. Like you do it more like a flip. Like
I mean, I'm old.
but you can like slow flip it. Like you can do it like slow motion.
Because a lot of the shit I do is on portable landing, so it's wood. So if you land a bit sideways, it's not as forgiving as dirt. So
right.
I do like, average ones at shows and that. But if it's dirt, loamy, I'll send it as good as I can.
Yeah.
But I can't send it like Ackerman can. But I mean, it's been a long time since anyone's done them. Like Nate started doing him like 06 or 07, and then I did my first one in 06, and until now, no one's really done it gnarly, and then he's just come and changed the game. But he's a big kid. He's strong.
Yeah.
Like, he just muscles that thing around. But, like, when he landed sideways in that second run, I would have fallen straight off the back. Would have ripped both my shoulders out. Like, he was just so muscly, he hung onto it. But that same strength is what he uses to pull off the ramp, and he does, like, legit threes. So, full credit to him. That's fucking gnarly. Because I know how it is to tone it down, tone it up, go as flat as you can, and I just do what's safe for me now.
Right.
But and some like people come like, oh, Ackerman's showing Bilko how to do it now. I'm like, yeah, well, cool, good on him. Like,
sit down, fuckers.
Full credit. Like, I've been doing it for 13 years, and I'm old now. I like to be a bit safer. I don't like high side and splatting on the ground. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool to watch when someone does something like that. That's just a trick that's been around forever and kind of didn't get that much credit.
Didn't. And not a lot of people tried it.
Yeah,
there's a reason for that.
No one tried it. So yeah, when he did that, I'm like, that's fucking sick.
It was it's a very different style 360. Like nobody really does them like that.
Pretty much as you like bottom out off the ramp and a flip, you just pull straight back with both, like lean back with both arms. But when you do a three, as you bottom out, you just look over your shoulder, and the harder you turn your head, the harder your body moves. And if you come in slow, like when people double flip, they come in slow and they accelerate really hard off the ramp, so it spins faster.
Yeah.
So if you do that with a three, if you come in slow and pin it, it'll make the bike flip more, which might make it flat.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to come in with like heaps of rolling speed and then go like half, 3/4 throttle off the ramp so it doesn't flip. But then as soon as you take off, it doesn't.
And hope that you don't fucking overshoot 30 feet.
It doesn't do much. So you're like on the limiter for the first like half a second until you actually spot the landing. But it's going real slow when you don't pin it off the ramp. Man. But yeah, if I just come in like second with a bunch of pace and then just just ease it off the ramp, it'll go way flatter. But then there's wooden ramps, like the wheels will actually slide off them. The mesh is real grippy, and then European ramps spin a bit different. Like, yeah, I just figured out how to do it for the last few years when it was gnarly and I needed to send it and I was going to be judged on it. I'd fucking give it a real good go. And then if it's a portable landing where you've got no forgiving if you land sideways,
right?
I'm like, let's ease it up a bit,
So, a little bit off topic, but I have it in my brain. How the fuck did it happen where like half the roster at X Games was Australian? Like why are all these dudes just
fucking
growing up
making Americans look like bitches?
Yeah, growing up in Australia and just like kind of taking over the FMX game. I mean,
we're just fucking mad cunts.
That's honestly, what it is, right?
They're all loose cannons, dude.
We do have a screw loose, but a lot of us obviously grew up on properties, and that's where we started to ride. And I mean, obviously, US riders have had that too. It's just we've just got that little thing in the back of our head that just says "fuck it."
That's got to be it.
It is,
because I've never met an Australian that's a pussy. To be honest,
no,
maybe one, but we won't talk about him. I'm just kidding. It's not you, I promise.
Well, I'm American now. I'm a U.S. citizen I'm a Julie, so
let's hear your best American accent.
Now I'm half a pussy.
He's got a good American accent.
Number 2 with onions and a Sprite.
You want the Flying Dutchman, bro?
Number
iced coffee. Yeah. Like, get us a cheeseburger, cunt. 6 nuggets, sweet and sour sauce. Like,
Flying Dutchman.
If I say that at Macca's here, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I literally just figured out what Macca's was when we were on the way back with Rob.
Yeah, Macca's, Mickey D's.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of
I thought it was
names.
McAdoo's nickname.
I was like, am I fucking missing something?
Yeah, it's like, stop at the servo and get some petty. I say that to American, like, what the fuck? I'm like, go to the gas station and fill your car up with gas. top of the servo gets a petty. Servo means service station. Like
I could have guessed that one.
Same as go to the bar and get pissed.
They serve petrol.
You don't. We say shit in like 3 words and everyone gets it.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially California.
Except when
they're
you
a
try
little
to teach.
slow. Like you got to separate every few words with "oh my gosh" or "like" or "seriously," so people can process it.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I just say, "Fuck, let's go to this," and they're like, "Huh?"
Yeah, until you try to teach the dog to sit, and the Spanish word's like 6 times longer than sit.
Let's not talk about Fluffy. He left today.
Yeah, Bilko's actually having a rough day today.
Our foster dog.
His foster dog.
He got adopted today and he left.
Damn. I know you're a real bummed about that.
Little I'm gonna miss those turds on the carpet. Nah, he was a good dog. He was a good dog.
So what?
You know he liked him. He shaved the dog's asshole.
Yeah, he was really. I called him. He came from the shelter. His name was Zach, but I just called him Fluffy Fuck because he was real fluffy. But yeah, every time he shit, he'd get dingleberries, and then you'd be scratching him in bed, and then you'd feel the crusty shit around his arsehole. So I ended up getting the Manscaped clippers and like trimmed right around his balloon knot, and then
Shout out to Manscaped.
So when he was taking a shit the next day, he was standing on the edge of the putt green in my backyard. So he was on like a downhill angle, so the turd didn't drop straight out. And then it got caught on his hair again, so I had to shave it even more. So like his whole fucking back end's pretty much shaved. And
he did have a blonde ass.
Yeah, he pretty much.
So whoever
bleached.
adopted him
Bilko
was
bleached
looking at his fucking rear end. Like,
I made sure I pointed like, oh, what do you think about this dog? Is he a good dog? I'm like, he's got a great butthole. He's presented again. Just have a look at it. So.
He's got a Brazilian butthole.
flip him around.
But yeah, anyway, so enough about the dog's asshole.
So what? Aside from dirt bikes, what interests Bilko? What the fuck do you do for fun?
Fuck, I love to sit with Australians and banter and talk shit and drink and fucking do dumb shit. Like when we're on tour, the shows when you travel around Europe and you're living on a tour bus, like the best times are after the show when you're on the bus getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, like having a couple of waters and something, going to bed early.
Vodka water.
But yeah, just like being with your mates and traveling around, just the banter and just the good times and like, yeah, you got to pinch yourself, look back now. Like you got paid to travel all over the world with your best mates and it was like an endless fucking, we call it a bucks trip, you call it a bachelor party. But yeah, like travel around the fucking world and just have fucking fun. Like that was gnarly. I kind of miss that a lot now with the tours dying down and even before COVID, like the international stuff wasn't as big and like with less money, like if you're an Aussie or whatnot, you don't want to live away from your family or kids and travel for 4 months to go on a tour every weekend.
Right.
So yeah, now it's like, shit, there used to be like such a tight-knit group that we traveled with. That was so much fucking fun back then. I look back now like, oh, can we just go back to that? Can we just do one more bus trip? Like even if we don't do a tour, can we just hire a sleeper bus and just drive around in circles?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, what do I do for fun? I like hitting puddles when it rains, but that doesn't really happen in California. So, other than that...
I always find it interesting when I have a fresh DM on the old Instagram and it's just
probably pretty random.
A video of a dude hitting a puddle on the road.
Yeah,
it's from Bilko.
I was pretty lucky. Like that, my driveway in Oz is like 300 feet long, and then it's about 280 feet to the local pub. But literally right before the intersection there, the drain floods every time it rains.
Yeah.
So I just turn out and just fucking blast that thing. It's the funnest thing ever. Some dog the gutter was like blocked and he dug the whole thing out. So now the puddle drains more. So
no way.
I'm going to fill it back up when I get home. But Melbourne, it rains every second day. So that puddle's there all the time. California, when it rains, I'm like, shit, where am I going?
Yeah.
Just go puddle hunting.
Do you plan on going back to Oz anytime soon? Or?
Not anytime soon. Like, it's such a shit show to try and go back. 1, the price of flights. 2, the quarantine. 3, there's absolutely fuck all happening. Like, they're going into... Melbourne's in its 5th lockdown now.
That's
insane.
Unbelievable.
When the first lockdown started, like, I've always spent Australian winter, summer in America because it's literally my backyard's like pretty flat. There's not much drainage, so when it rains a lot, it's basically like a swamp.
Nothing to do. Yeah,
your feet squish when you walk across the grass. That's how wet it is. So I was in lockdown in winter, couldn't go more than 3 miles from my house for like 3 months, and just sitting at home, just couldn't ride, couldn't do a fucking thing. And then come here and everything's still getting out and about and doing stuff. And now that was like 12 months ago. fast forward now, and then we're back in lockdown again for the 5th time. So like, there's absolutely no point to actually go home.
So you were there a year ago.
Yeah,
you were there during
I
COVID.
was able to leave during COVID because I was a dual citizen. So I left in like August. But I mean, the shit started in March. We had 20 Nitro shows planned. We were only 3 in, and then that all got shit canned.
No shit.
And so yeah, I just sat at home and did absolutely fuck all because it was pouring rain outside and nothing to do, and couldn't go too far without getting fined. So it was come back here and just started doing shit again. It was go ride with everyone. It was awesome. But now I like to go home.
It does look like they are the most complicated country.
They're back in lockdown now. They got that Delta strain, which I don't know, is dog shit. But then they had big protests yesterday, so they're like, oh, people from the lockdown suburbs went to the protest, and now they're going to give it to everyone. But my rule is don't talk about COVID for more than 5 minutes because it's fucking dog shit. So next topic. But yeah, I'm not going home anytime soon, and it's like it's $3,500 to quarantine to live in a hotel for 2 weeks, and you don't know where you're
windows.
Going. You don't know if you're going to the JW Marriott or the fucking Holiday Bin where you don't even have a fridge.
Fuck yeah!
Like they'll give you bread in your little sandwich bag because you don't even get a room.
It's
key.
like prison for 2 weeks.
Yeah, then you don't even have a toaster.
Or jail.
Like, what
Jail's
the fuck
worse.
am I gonna do with this?
It does sound pretty fucked. On the way back from the airport last night or whenever I got home, Rob called Benny Richards, and he was in quarantine, and he had said that he's like, dude, they're not feeding us a lot, and it's like dog shit food.
Yeah, like you pretty much get like a brown sandwich bag, and one will like have 2 slices of bread but no butter or anything, and then the other one will have cereal in it, but then there's no milk.
Right.
It's like the to-go bags from like the little hotels when you travel.
And then if you
it's like, oh, here's a fucking muffin and a banana.
You're only allowed like 1 Uber Eats delivery a day, and if you have more than like 1 bottle of alcohol in there, they take it out.
That's fucked. If I'm going to be locked in there, I'm going to get blacked out.
It's like a jail.
Yeah, pretty much. You have to book in yard time the next day. So anyway, fuck going back to Australia right now. I miss my family and everything like that, but it's just, what's the fucking point? Like,
has the Nitro Tour started back up yet?
It starts in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Are you going to be on it or no?
Yeah, 27 shows. Like, it's a circus, so every circus needs a clown. That's why I'm
This is
back
true.
on it. So
you'll be back in doing all of them again?
Yeah, it's all in North America. So it's 27 shows between now at the end of the year. So get ready to live at the airport and hotels for a bit. But it's
sounds
just gonna
cool.
be
I'm gonna miss my friend.
It's gonna be totally different from having like March last year. I've done 2 shows since then. One I crashed that, but yeah, like since then I've done 2 shows where normally I do a shit ton, and now I'm about to go from doing fuck all to traveling every single weekend. Like leave Thursday, come home Monday. Live in a fucking 2 or 3 hotels each weekend. I'm not complaining. It's just so funny. I pictured it someone like, oh, what's it like to travel? I'm like, imagine every morning you got up and a plumber came in and changed your shower taps. And you had to figure out how to get hot water every time you woke up.
The last fucking hotel I was in and that Idaho thing, the first night, I sat there for 15 fucking minutes because I turned the thing to the left, which was what I thought hot, and it was cold as fuck.
Yeah, well, sometimes like the red
down.
blue line they're worn off, so you don't know. Yeah. So you'll turn it one way, and like any normal tap would be warm in 5 minutes, and you go back, sit on the couch, you walk in, it's still cold, and you're like, oh, it must be cold. So you turn it the other way, but then you just turn it to cold.
Dude, this one even had like hot and cold.
Frustrating.
I was sitting there, dude. I sat there for 15 minutes waiting. I was like, is this thing gonna fucking warm up or what?
I'm sure you figured out how to fill 15-minute void.
I just wouldn't shower.
Yeah.
Hey, he's like,
have the Australian shower in a can.
Quick little
jam sesh,
little arm pump fixture.
There you go.
Like clean the skid plate. But yeah, that's what I'm saying to someone else like to travel. I'm like, imagine that. Like people change your shit all the time. They switch out your pillows every night.
Yeah,
You don't know
that's
which
a
one's
weird
good.
question because, like, fuck, when I was. I mean, I'm not old, but when I was a little bit younger, when I was like 22, 23, I fucking loved traveling. Like even 21, like I was stoked anytime I got to go anywhere. Now I hate to sound like a bitch, but I fucking dread it. Like
you don't want to leave the house.
I know. Like I really don't like fucking flying places. I don't like going anywhere.
It's a lot of work and energy, dude.
It is.
Flying is exhausting.
Growing up in Australia and like flying places and traveling, it's so much fucking easy. You come here and it's like fucking shoot.
Such an ordeal.
In Oz, nearly every flight is direct, and 99.9% of the time is on time, and your bags show up. Then you come to America, it's like, oh, I need to go to this town. It's like, yeah, it's going to be 2 flights. So stop over here, and
bags missing.
We might lose your lose your bag. Then the pilots have worked too long, so that flight's not going to go, and you got to spend the night in Dallas and line up 3 hours at the counter to get a hotel voucher just to be back there in 6 hours. Like, you fucking for real?
That whole like industry is very odd because I used to bartend before I moved out
In
here.
New York, he introduced me to the half beer, half cider.
Yeah.
What's your favourite cider? Dickens?
I love a good dick and cider.
No, probably like
He,
Angry Orchard or something.
that went through to the keeper. That's baseball catcher.
Oh yeah, no.
Sorry.
Red.
Next question.
My wife likes a good dick and cider.
Ah, there we go. Welcome
Wow,
to the party,
dude,
Ritter.
that is no. I need
Dickens
a bong rip.
cider.
You want some Monster, mate?
No, I'm good. I know what's actually in there.
No, that's actually you got to slow down on the tour waters.
Nice, mate. It's a Monster.
I like to think a monster at each grace.
Anyway, before Ritter missed the punchline, where were we? About traveling.
Yeah, what I used to bartend back in New York, and
He was a bareback, a barback.
I was at this.
Sorry.
I was at this one bar where it was a hotel, and a lot of the people that would come down were like flight attendants or pilots or whatever. And dude, pilots get fucking trashed
Tossed,
the night
dude.
before.
Yeah.
Like
that's the fucking the dude that's my life's in his hands. He's hung over as shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I was
I'd
like, I
probably
was in
just
a
drink
weird
with him.
deal where like I was kind of working for the hotel and the bar, so like I would help out sometimes and like end up doing a whole night. I would stay at the bar and just fucking stay at the hotel.
And
till
they're
the
probably
next
telling
morning.
you they got an international flight in like 7 hours, and you're pouring them double shots.
Well, dude, it almost got to a point where it was like a little fucked up because they would get wasted, and then like they wouldn't really tell me, hey, I got a flight tomorrow morning at 6.
But either
Can you
way,
get a
like,
DUI in an airplane?
Yeah, like can you or not? But like you got to be, somewhat coherent and
Bro,
not that hungover.
FUI,
We got
flying
400 people in the back of your car. Like it's not.
Bro, when I say trashed, I mean these dudes, like there were times where we had to legitimately like have somebody help them up to their room. And the next morning, no chance they're making it to their flight. They would sleep till like fucking 10 or 11, and you're literally sitting there like there were times I was like, fuck, I got this guy so drunk and just fucked over 400 people.
Yeah, I was about to say if he doesn't show up to work, it fucks
Why is your
up like
flight
fuck.
delayed?
Yeah.
That's why.
Right. Like
Some asshole couldn't drink properly.
Just
So
take
now-
take a photo of them in their airline uniform when they're at the bar. Shit.
Oh my
facing this
God.
shit.
But now every time I'm in an airport and a fucking flight gets delayed and there's no bad
think of
weather,
that.
I'm
You know
sitting
what,
there
Angry?
thinking like, fuck, is this guy cocked and is he just substituting the little bit less cocked guy in to fucking take over?
Or when he does show up, is he still half pickled? Or
Right.
Right? Well, take a fucking Adderall or something. Shit.
Right.
It's funny. A friend of mine knows a pilot that works for a big airline. Definitely can't say his name, but this dude like gets his cocktail like in the morning on the way to the flight.
Yeah.
Like right before he's about to fly.
that was like that movie Flight with Denzel Washington. He was fucking cooked the whole time. Like Jesus.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on in the cockpit, dude?
It
Especially if
definitely
you have a female co-pilot. Fuck.
it makes you wonder.
Turbulence. Oops, my bad. Her head hit the steering wheel.
Yeah, there was actually perfect weather. She
Quit moving your head, damn it.
she was just creating her
She's
own
a quitter.
tornado.
Let's just say that.
But long story short, flying fucking sucks in America compared to Australia and that. And it's probably because there's way less people. It's a lot easier. I get it. The system works a lot better. It's a lot to have so many people going from A to B to here. It's just weird. Like one airline will fly to certain airports. Like they've got their hubs, and then there's major cities where you go from here to there. Where in Oz, it's like, yep, you want to go here to there. There's only 4 airlines. Pick one of them. They all go there. Like,
Yeah.
It's just a lot simpler, but like I said, less people, like all that shit. So yeah, you got to deal with it. Like it sounds like you're complaining, but it's just funny. Every week I travel, I'm like, all right, here we go. What's going to happen this time?
Yeah.
Am I going to sleep in Dallas tonight, or am I going to make it to my hotel on the East Coast? Like I've flown from like by the time I left Marietta and got to the hotel on the East Coast, I could have been at my house in Melbourne quicker sometimes.
Yeah.
Like 3 flights, delays, all that stuff, and you just get to the hotel and you go, oh, sweet, whatever. Like, go to open the mini bar and there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
But you're like, shit, that took like 18, 20 hours to get to the East Coast of America when it's, 15-hour flight back to Melbourne.
Literally.
Could have been on the couch. So.
Right.
But that's the joys of it. You take the good with the bad. So I don't want to sound like I'm bitching. It's just, now I just laugh at it like, sweet, this happened, that happened. Your bag got lost. You're going here, you're going there. But that's just part of traveling. That's just part of your work, like sitting in traffic or anything.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And like, shit, it's been 16 years since I've been living out of a suitcase, basically. But I'm still going to do it. Still love it. Sometimes I get a bit grumpy, but yeah, when you
I've never seen it.
when your flight gets cancelled for no reason or some shit, and then like the line to get your hotel voucher is about 600 feet long, it's like,
Dude, every time I go in LAX, I just like if I don't go in there absolutely ripped, I just fucking hate it.
yeah, it's like Well, when you
I hate
fly
it
a
either
lot,
way.
you obviously get your status, so you get to check in the short line and you
Yeah.
get to go. I'm like, when you
That's
don't
the
have
best
that,
way.
when
The
you've
clear
been
line or
traveling
whatever.
forever, and they're like, "Oh, righto, like Rockstar, well, you don't want to line up with everyone." I'm like, "Yeah, you might doing this once every 6 months. Like,
Yeah.
if you do it every weekend, it's like shit. That's what you pay for. It's called a loyalty program. You spend money with an airline, you get a kickback.
I need some benefits here.
That's got to be nice. I get dog shit every time I fly.
Literally, when you stand in the TSA line, they're like, "Oh, if you don't want to stand in line, you can sign up over at the clear machine, this and that." I'm like, by the time I fucking sign up for that, I'll already be through security.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
I got the pre-check thing years ago. It was the best thing I ever
Pre-check's
did.
good.
It's
Yeah.
leave your laptop in, no shoes off, and the lines are way short. But yeah,
And they
Yeah,
don't put
that's
you
way
through the
nicer.
body scanner. It's just so as
Oh,
long
no,
as you don't have anything metal on you, you can take whatever
they
you
can
want.
still put you
Mm.
through that. But you don't have to take
I don't think
shit
there's
out.
metal in weed.
No. Oh, dude, I've gotten to the point where I've pretty much like I've knock on wood. I hate to like
Behind you.
I hate to say this
plastic.
and then just
This
fucking
is,
go on the next
I've
flight
got-
and
I
get
got
fucked.
knocked there. I got wood.
I hope you don't right now. You're in the middle of skiing.
Yeah.
Driving the skid steer.
But
Put
no,
your hand back.
I'm at the point now where I don't even trip on it.
International's a little different.
I wouldn't
Oh,
try.
yeah.
I don't think I
Yeah.
would try international.
I might keister it if I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I would try that, but I mean, yeah, I don't. I've flown some weird places with weed and back from there with weed, and I
Yeah,
haven't,
yeah,
I
yeah.
Here
haven't
we
had
are.
any hiccups. Yeah, here I
Yeah, in
am.
Australia, that's not really a thing. So
No, it's super fucking like
it's
you'll get
just
fucked there. for
yeah,
weed.
just like weed in general. It's not even a fucking thing in Australia.
You
Right.
do weed, bro?
You play video games and go to an all-you-can-eat
Do a lot of
restaurant on
people-
a Friday night. That's it.
Do a lot of people smoke weed there?
Nah, fuck all. Like, there's the little secluded group when you're in high school that they smoke weed and do their own thing. And that's
No
it. It's
shit.
Just like anyone that has a job or responsibilities or anything doesn't smoke weed. So I was just blown away when I came here. Like, every second dude's just ripping
Yeah, that's
Hongongs
me.
every day, wake and bake.
That's me.
I'm like,
Oh, he's a big wake and baker.
yeah.
He'll be up for an hour, and I wake up, and he's already fucking baked.
But I've already had a lot of work done.
True. And
It's
half
weird.
asleep.
I can honestly say I'm a productive.
You're a
stoner.
functional
Yeah,
stoner.
yeah,
yeah.
functional junkie. Yeah, I came here when I was like 21 or 22, and everyone was just like smoking weed and everything flat out. And they're like, "Oh, you want some?" I'm like,
Let me try
"Nah."
that
And then
shit.
like, "What? You don't do that shit?" And I'm like, "No, I've had ecstasy, but I'm not going to smoke weed." And they're like, "What?"
I'm afraid.
I'm like, "I grew up in Australia, motherfucker." Like, yeah,
We take real drugs.
Yeah, that shit ain't gonna do nothing to me.
like just smells. Get out of here.
So speaking of that, I would say you're probably the king of shoeys, and
Yep.
I
Cue the cameraman. Bring us the shoe, please.
I brought that up on the way here.
Should we take Heshboy shoe?
Heshboy didn't even know what the fuck a shoey was. I had to explain it to him.
Well, he's fired.
What
I need the drink bottle
Here,
too, mate.
I got water for you.
No.
what would you? So what exactly
Hold on,
is
hold on.
what exactly is a shoey? Because Heshboy didn't even know.
A shoey is where you put your drink.
In your
Put
shoe.
your drink in your shoe and then you scull it out of it.
Hold on,
So
hold
this
on.
is for them. Oh, fuck! I'm
actually-
leaking. Oh, they're the vented version.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I just missed this, dude. I just fucking fucked the whole thing up.
It's okay. We'll come back.
Shoey live on air.
All right, I'll do another one.
Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, let's go.
There we go.
Let's go. First
Look
Shoey
at that.
on air.
So anyway, but
Fuck that
The
shit.
fucked up thing is, like the Mad Hooies, they're a bunch of fishermen and surfers from Oz, that, like live on the Gold Coast, mates with Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson, all the Mad Dog surfers. They invented the shoey, and they're mates with Daniel Ricciardo. But Daniel Ricciardo did it on TV at the Formula One.
Sickest thing in the world.
So they're like,
Ritter is now a fan of F1 and Daniel Ricciardo.
Formula One trademarked the name fucking shoey, and like.
No way.
No
Yeah, they
way.
did. They trademarked shoey, and then everyone's like, "Oh, Daniel Ricciardo invented it." I'm like, "No, he fucking didn't." Like, he's
Did he
still
invent Australia?
He's cool as fuck for doing it, and he knows
Yeah.
them, and he like parties.
Daniel's
with them,
sick, dude.
but like everyone like was just doing it after that here and there, and it's like, yeah, that's where it came from. But I know shoey's a shoey. Some people look at it and go, "Oh, they get mouth tinnier," but I'm like, "Fuck, whatever."
I think they're pretty sick. I
Put
think
worse
they're
shit
awesome.
in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to witness a pretty legendary shoey at Rob's birthday party a week or so ago.
I was pretty pumped on that. There's no actual footage. If anyone's got it, can
I
they
think
send
Ritter's
it in?
got one.
No,
I do, but we don't.
He fucking missed it.
Yeah, we're not super stoked on the angle.
Oh,
I
he's
got.
coming up short.
Yeah, I can admit I wasn't stoked on the angle. It was perfect. Like he basically got called out to do
I was
it in
yelling
front
at
of
Matto, and he'd
everybody.
already done one, and then he's like,
Right.
"You fucking do it," and I just put one
On-
foot on
Toss
my
me
heel.
your fucking shoe.
On cue, he flips his fucking shoe
wait.
up from
Catches
his
it.
foot.
I started with one foot, put it on the heel of the other one so it would just loosen up. But you have to have it loose enough so when you flick
Kick
your
up.
foot, it doesn't fire straight out.
So you
or-
were prepared for it.
No. As soon as you said do a shoey, I stood on the heel of my other foot,
And just
popped it
on
half
demand.
off, then flicked it, and it did a perfect flip, landed in my hand, and I poured my drink in it and sculled it with it.
That was badass.
that
It would have
was-
been funny
I-
though
I-
if it went 30 feet forward into the crowd and hit someone in the
No,
face.
I don't. I mean, that would be funny, but it couldn't have gone any better. I was like 10 minutes later, I tried to do it again, and the thing speared off and probably hit a kid or something like that.
See, you haven't ran out of talent yet. You still got it. There's
Sometimes
potential, I see it.
perform under pressure, but yeah, that was.
I
mean,
think that had a lot to do with it because that was big pressure. There
was-
was 200 people standing there
and
watching.
when you're the dude calling someone out to do a shoey,
You
and
better
then
back
they
it the
call
fuck
you
up.
out, everyone just looks at you, and you're like fucking right.
Like, what do you got?
And one of the best things about that whole thing was Jeremy's wife Susie in the background. Her face when you flip your shoe off your foot.
Like as I caught it and was pouring the drink in, I didn't even now when I watch the footage, I'm like, fuck, that was pretty sick. Like,
Yeah.
that's better than a cliffhanger flip back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
I like the cliff humper.
Well, I'll plug in my clip that I have, and it
crop
doesn't.
that in there, and if anyone actually has it from a different angle, please send it to me because I'd like to promote it as like my latest trick. That's cool that I've done because
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've done a good trick. So
It was definitely tour water in the shoe too.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I have gotten pretty into F1 lately, which I'm only bringing that up because I know that you are an F1 fan. I do have to ask.
I kind of like it, but there's Formula 1, then there's Formula 1.5. If you don't have the fucking money, you can't race at the front. So
yeah.
it's not. I like MotoGP more because it seems like a fairly level playing field. Where Formula 1, it's
Right.
like some dude rocks up in a fucking old Chevy 3500 shitbox like mine, and then the other dude's got the fully optional Sprinter, and it's like, all right, let's
Yeah.
go race. Just it doesn't make sense, but anyway, it is what it is.
I
Cool
think
to
there's a lot of super fucking sick things about it, but then there's obviously like
politics, money.
I like
Yeah.
the I like the stroll program. Just buy the pink Mercedes.
Yeah, got enough money to do
Ritter's
it.
not there yet. I
No.
think that's season 3.
yeah, I'm about halfway through season 3.
I'll come watch it with you. I'll do a couple of shoeys.
Yeah,
There you go.
Let's do it. I've been wanting to come over and hop on the old fucking
Oh, the simulator.
yeah, I need to do that.
Thing's
We gotta hit
gnarly.
that.
Like I bought it, like oh fuck, this is gonna be fun.
He's never played one.
It's not really a toy. Like it's
No.
actually a tool. You have to sit in there and like it's not like going to fucking the arcade and you play the.
Well, no, and like
Daytona
the
and
feeling
that.
you
It's
get
just-
is real. Like
but-
the reaction of the car and stuff, like the
yeah.
vibration, like it's realistic.
like as it moves,
It's
the
hard.
steering wheel. It'll like if you want to drive it for a bunch of hours with your friends and that, you turn the force feedback back so the wheel doesn't fight you that much. But
Right.
if you want a full experience of
Yeah.
like 20 hard laps, then the steering wheel like wants to rip
It's
out your
gnarly.
hands half the time. But
And-
like I said, if you want to do it over a few hours and just have fun,
Right.
you turn all that down. But the brake pedal, all that shit is like you can set it up where there's high tire pressures, low tire pressures, warm this, suspension that, and the car reacts pretty much like it would in a real thing. So you're not really just going there having fun and doing whatever. You're like, how does this happen? Like track temperature's colder.
Right.
You start to learn because like with dirt bikes, when you ride, like it's funny when you do car stuff or go karts or anything. Like you qualify, you practice, and everything just stays within a second. Like you can't. It's as hard as you try, whatnot. You might make up a 10th here, a 10th
Right.
there. Like you see, guys
There's
like
no leeway for
yeah. In
big
motocross,
king.
like Tomac, when he's halfway through the moto, and just goes, right, fuck it, I'm just gonna send it and just hold this thing wide with his full waffle grips. He'll like make up 3 seconds a lap, like just like that,
Right.
Yeah.
Just by risking it for the biscuit because you can just hold it on. Like you can move around the bike, you can adjust everything, and just like put in as much effort as you want. Where cars, it's like, all right. Fuck, I'll make a 10th here or 10th there, just be whatever. And you actually like, oh, you'll feel the car through your ass. That sounds real fucking gay. But like, your bum in the seat is.
No, you can.
As the car skips around, you kind of get a feel of is the track cold? Is the tire moving like this? Is the tire hot enough and all that? And like, that's something you don't learn unless you do like karting for years, cars for years. Like it's
Right.
such an intense thing, and you have to have so much more feeling through your hands and just your ass. That's weird again, but like from what the
I mean, I know you feel a lot of things in your ass, so you know
I
what to
just
look
said
for.
hands and ass in the same thing, and they've both been in the same spot at one point. But yeah, like you
Shelves.
learn how to do that, and like dirt bike suspension, whatever, you can like either muscle it if it's not set up right, and you can make that happen. But if the car's not set up right or whatever, you have to adapt to colder temperatures, tire wear, anything like that, and it's so minute with what you can adjust physically to get it done, and you might make up like half a second if you do everything perfect.
Right.
So that I think it's gnarly that it's such a minute thing that you have to do. Where I'm not saying it's easier on a dirt bike, but if you want to risk it and like hold it on and really
You
have
can find
crack,
it, yeah.
yeah. Or if you're tired or you've still got energy, it can like fluctuate. Like the race lines always change in a car race. Like unless someone drops oil on the track, like it's the same line for the next 60 years when there's a race track. No one's
Right,
no one's
that's true.
going outside to inside. No one's squaring you off. Like
Right.
I mean, unless you're Hamilton and Verstappen.
oh, they had a bit of a bust up.
You make a new line.
What'd you think about that?
I mean, if they were both going for it, neither one of them want to back down. They already had 3 close moments, and when they got to there, if Hamilton didn't hit Verstappen, he probably would have run wide anyway. Like he was coming in hot.
He couldn't stop and make the corner normal, anyways.
Well, when he did that to Leclerc a few laps later, it wasn't anywhere near as bad, and Leclerc ran
Same
wide.
corner.
So if Hamilton backed off and didn't hit him, he still would have fucking run off the track. So,
But he probably would have. I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't.
But yeah, when they broke, it was like 2 hard-headed races. Like I'm not going to back off, and
But they do that every weekend. They like Hamilton knows exactly what Verstappen's going to do.
I think
he knows he's not
I
backing
think he
down.
was fair enough up that he thought I've got it. He could probably see me over his shoulder. Because that's the thing in a race car when you got a Hans and the 5-point harness and that, you can't see a fucking thing. When you jump a dirt bike, you're like, sweet, old mate's behind me, everything. Like when you're in a car, you're like. You get like 10 degrees each way. And those mirrors,
you have your peripherals. And
and then you got your fucking mirrors that are this big on the side. So he might have glanced when he ducked one way. So when Hamilton was up the inside.
Because he did duck down and you see him like hesitate a little bit and go back.
He weaved to the middle thinking Hamilton was going to take that and go to the left. But then he went to the right and just pinched between him and the wall. And he was a fair way up there. And then neither of them wanted to give. So whether Verstappen could see him or not, his senses told him that he was up the inside, and he's like, he'll back off.
Right.
So he turned in at warp speed. Hamilton was coming in hot as well because he thought he had it, enough room where he was going to back off. Neither of them did. They hit, and then everyone's like, "Oh, Hamilton missed the apex," but he didn't really miss it until after the contact. So
Yeah.
And even if they didn't collide, Verstappen was going to run off the track anyway. Like he wouldn't even had 4 wheels on the ripple strip. He would have been.
It was a shitty situation.
His car would have been completely outside the track. So it's 50-50. It sucks that he crashed, and that's the way it went down. But they're 2 hard-headed racers that are absolutely fucking going for it, and no 100%. One gave in. And if you don't have that racing, it's not fucking entertaining. Like,
no, it's not.
It's not.
So I mean, I get it. If someone just dive bombs and does something fucking stupid, you're like, nah, mate, pack it up. Like, go home. But if you're not allowed to pass people,
it's easy to hate on.
Yeah, if you're not allowed to pass people,
it's easier to blame somebody.
Yeah, if you're not allowed to pass people, make a bit of contact, then what the fuck are you doing out there? Like playing follow the leader? So, yeah.
Well, I apologize to everybody that doesn't watch F1 or give a fuck about it because that whole 15 minutes.
You could just put like a 45-second clip of the first lap when they were just going hell for leather and they were basically block past everyone, but you can't make contact in an open wheel car. But anyway, it ended up in a bit of a bust up, and that's next topic.
I think Ritter was going there earlier, but do you have a personal relationship with Ricciardo?
Nah, I don't think I've ever met him. But I know he's mates with the Hueys who invented the Shoey, so he must be.
I wasn't sure.
He must be a good cunt.
I mean, top Australian athletes, I feel like they know each other. I think Rob probably knows. Rob's probably friends with him.
Rob's Red Bull, he'd know him for sure. I'm low tier, like I'm D-list.
Well, don't discredit Monster. Come on.
I'm talking about like sports people in Australia. I'm a D-lister, so I haven't met Danny Rick yet.
You a D-router.
I'd probably do a Shoey if I met him.
Dick.
D for
D for dildo.
Oi, how you going?
D for Shoey.
Yeah. Well, fuck, we've been sitting here for quite a while.
I think we're like hour 20.
Is J.O. still awake?
I don't know. Oi, J.O.
J.O.'s in the back. Should we bring J.O. on and fucking show his face a little bit? He's had.
I don't know. All the girls might get a little hot and bothered.
We might have to make a bit of room because he didn't fit in the fucking MRI machine.
He didn't fit in the MRI machine.
Yeah, he's fucking jacked ass.
He's built like a brick supermarket. He's madder than a cut snake.
J.O.'s had some gnarly arm work going on the last few days.
He started doing curls on one side.
Hasn't even been able to fly home to Australia due to what was Dr. G thinking it might have been?
He just they thought it was compartment syndrome because the swelling. It was about 100 psi in his forearm and bicep was about to explode, and the hospital didn't tell him fucking shit. So he went to Dr. G and he was meant to fly it the next day, and G's like, do not get on the plane. That thing will explode or cut off the circulation. So he had to change that. There goes a $7,000 return ticket. But then we go to get an MRI, and my shoulder's still fucked from my crash the other day when I ran out of talent. So I went in first, got it, and then he went to go in, and he couldn't fit in the machine because his shoulders are too buffed. And he paid up front $600 because he's got international insurance. Paid $600 for the MRIs, and then when he didn't fit, he come back out and he's like, "Oh, so can I get some money back?" And I'm like, "Nah." you booked an MRI, we're charging you 600. He's like, you didn't fucking get your camera out. You didn't even take an image. What the fuck's going on here?
I think if we, I think it's probably worth bringing him over and showing his face just to.
It's unlike it, but should I let him jump in for a sec?
Yeah, let him jump in.
Yeah,
I think it could help our viewers in the sense of possibly gaining some females because he's a stud. This is the first time we've done this. We've never actually just switched out and brought somebody else on, but we've got
old switcheroo. J.O.'s done that before.
But we've got J.O. straight out of fucking Australia. A little bit past due, fucked yourself up during X Games a little bit. What's your situation now? How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling not too bad. I was in a lot of pain a couple of days ago, but we've kind of sorted it out a little bit now. So, unfortunately, the trip over here didn't go as planned, but
Shortchanged on practice. He did all the prep, all the practice at home. Like I said, did double flips at his place. Went to Jacko's different ramp to get as well prepared as he could.
Yeah.
Gets the X Games and just hit that. No idea what the ramp was. Different gap. Just in the afternoon, the night before the contest, do it and had a crash there. That dinged him up and he wasn't feeling it for the next day, but he still had to send it. So.
Yeah, and your arm was about to explode.
Yeah, my arm was about 3 times the size, and then I dislocated my shoulder as well. So pretty much, pretty much made things very hard, but we still kind of had a crash.
It's like you two different sides of the table. Like if he landed it still, he would have competed, done whatnot, but he's still got as much recognition. And the people that really know about the sport and everything, they realise that it wasn't the best situation, and he did everything he could, and he was committed, and it didn't work out because he crashed. But he's going to be back next year. He'll be back at X Games. Like, he was so bummed after when he crashed. He was so disappointed in himself. I'm like, look, man, you got dealt a shitty card. Like, you got no practice. You crashed, but you'll be back next year. They know that you're practicing hard, and you know you can do these tricks. And the people close know that you didn't have the right practice and time to actually compete properly.
Well, there's not many dudes that there's still not many dudes that are double flipping.
There's probably maybe 10 ever that have ever landed it, and there's fuck all people that do it consistently. But,
J.O.'s one of them.
And he's working on a triple flip right now.
Right.
So
or can you say anything on that? Is that something coming soon?
I can't say too much about it, but
mute his mic.
It's it's coming soon. So we've been training for like a year and a half. So it's a lot of hard work's gone into it, but it's gonna be sick. So
fuck yeah,
in the next couple of months.
Fuck yeah.
But even when Levi Sherwood was kind of fiddling around with that stuff, and he was messing around with triples and that, and then he went back to double. He was like, shit, I'm having trouble double flipping. I keep over-rotating, messing that up.
No
I've
shit.
kind of adjusted to spinning this fast and set my bike up so it will spin almost fast enough to do a triple, but now I want to go do a double.
When you start playing with triples, do you fucking any point get lost? Like, you've got to be in the air for so long.
Definitely get lost. You kind of... each time you do it, you become a little bit more familiar, but
it's situational awareness.
Yeah, but then going from, like Bilko said, the triple back to the double, it kind of puts everything out.
Yeah.
And you give it way too much of a pull, and you kind of got to re-teach yourself how to do a double.
No shit.
Which is a funny feeling.
You almost would have been better with a stock swing arm at X Games. Just randomly put it on and double flip like you would with that short swing arm.
And it wouldn't have flicked so much. I probably could have done that, but
he literally
no time.
Did the double in the best trick when it was to dirt, and he opened up you spread your body weight out so it's lower center of gravity that spins a bit slower because he over rotated the day before. He opened up a bit and still over rotated the double.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when Travis and Cam Sinclair used to do them, they just leave the ramp and it was just
so fucking heavy.
It's like, am I gonna make it if I land if my back wheel hits the ground before my front wheel does? I must have fucking done something weird because I actually rotated fast enough. Because the rest of the time they were just making it.
Yeah.
Then fast forward like Levi and that, shorten the wheelbase, center of gravity lowered, all that, done all that stuff to make the bike actually spin faster. But for a long time there, it was like, all right, here we
fucking
go.
Hectic.
I'm just looking up at the top of my helmet and hopefully I see dirt before my wheels touch.
Dude.
But yeah, he knew how to spin them faster, how to spin them slower. But yeah, like I said, if you don't do that setup long enough, and then if you're working on a triple in the meantime and it's spinning that quick, and you're like, all right, go back to that and then double. It's all ass about. So it's tough, it's hard, and it's not an easy thing to go from one to the other, and then especially with no preparation or practice.
Yeah. So what is your Instagram name so that people can find you and keep up with this shit?
At J.O. Archer.
At J.O. Archer.
That's
Beautiful.
Cloud9 pimp.
All right, boys. Well, we are going to get the fuck out of here. I have to piss super bad, and I'm ready for a bong rip. So thank you all for tuning in.
I'll probably pass on that, and I'll just do a shoey.
Well, you
That's
fucking
it.
heard it there, boys. Hesh boy, we are out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Thank you, Ryan Ritter and Dylan Merry-Go-Round, man, for having us. I had a great time at the Media Pub. You're welcome. Enjoy. State of I'm out of fucking here.
Thank you, boys. We are out. Peace.
Thanks for having us, buddy.
Yeah, doggy.
That actually worked out perfect. Him just jump in at the end.